What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Fake Nerd Podcast, episode 227. I'm Ron Leopoulos, and I'm joined with my favorite garbage men in all the world. We're going to take out the trash. That is pop culture news. What's up? I got Brandon T. McClure.
Hello.
I got Ben Magnet, and I got Sparks Witty on the driver's side with me.
I am 100% a garbage man.
Absolutely. I think I'll just stop it there before it gets mean. Yeah, we're here to talk about Space Sweepers, a new movie that's Guardians of the Galaxy meets Monday to Friday, trying to make a wage. Loving, feeling good. What's up, guys?
Meets Outlaw Star.
Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, all the references.
Real quickly, before we get into our weeks, I wanted to just mention, I shouldn't. I'll be nice. I shouldn't do that. Okay, I'll mention the links in the description first.
Okay.
I was going to mention Pi's thing from last night.
No.
Yeah. I was going to say it was his, but whatever. Inside jokes that you only get on the live show, guys.
Or if you play video games with us.
Right. Anyway, so we do have links in the description below. No, we don't. We have one link in the description because, Ryan, you didn't do Robin Hood.
Super Bowl Sunday. We're all busy.
Yeah. So there's one link in the description. I'm going to start doing this when they're up, but the FN Book Club, Fake Nerd Book Club audio, episode 3, Wasted Space, volume 3, is in the description. You can find that below. Subscribe to the audio channel if you want. And that's it. We got nothing. We didn't really do a whole lot this week because it's our down week.
Down week. I'll come down.
I'll go first. I didn't really have anything.
Go for it.
If that's okay. Well, I didn't read any comics because they bring me no joy right now. Screw you, Immortal Hulk.
That's a bummer.
Here's the thing. It was the nail on the coffin for me for this week. Not like for in general. I will read comics again, and I will read Immortal Hulk again. I just with all the talk about like Avengers and like so many things I read, I just see online how everyone just like, you're stupid if you read these. These are bad books, so it really like hurts me sometimes. Sometimes I let it get to me more than it does. But Immortal Hulk's news was just like, well, not this week.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, I just didn't go to the store because I work. So.
Yeah. However, I probably am going to drop Avengers. I like Avengers a lot up until the Moon Knight arc. And then the Phoenix arc is kind of like the bad way to do a tournament arc. So I'm not crazy about it right now.
Yeah, I have been reading it on Marvel Unlimited because I dropped it a while ago. But yeah, that Moon Knight arc, not a fan. Like it's so crazy because like I like Jason Aaron a whole lot, and I think he does really great stuff with characters. But like, there's just something about this Avengers run where just like his characters are all off for me. Whether it's one thing or another, just like it doesn't feel like the same Jason Aaron, and I feel like he's maybe trying to do something different than he's used to, but I just don't think it's working. I think the ideas are cool, the execution is very sloppy.
There's a lot of things that I've really enjoyed in his run, like the vampires, the 1 Million BC and Mephisto, and I think all that stuff is really interesting and really engaging. I like the Ghost Rider arc a lot. But the Moon Knight arc, I like the idea of like Khonshu being jealous. He's not one of the primordial forces. I like that, but everything else with like Mark Spector just didn't jive with me. And then I was like, okay, that's one arc. It's fine. I've been enjoying this for a while. So like obviously like you don't always hit.
Yeah.
And then the Phoenix one is just boring, and I just don't really care for it. So going into Heroes Reborn, I might just drop it.
Yeah.
Okay, but the things I did do. I started watching a new show on NBC. It's a new sitcom, Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson and Holly Hunter.
Cool. Okay.
That show is really, really funny for me. I'm not going to say it's like really great. It is the sitcom I would write if I had the option.
Okay. All right.
It is definitely like my brand of humor. There's a bit where Ted Danson gets high, and he's the mayor, so he has to go to this thing. And he's opening he's doing like a ribbon cutting, and the LA Kings mascot, who's a lion. Am I correct, Ben?
Yeah. Billy the lion.
Yeah, so he is a lion. And he's running up to Ted Danson with it's like this whole show. And he's like with the scissors to cut the ribbon. And Ted Danson's like, oh my God, what is that? And he starts starts smacking him, and he like knees him in the stomach. And there's a thing where like the lion like jumps on a trampoline and goes, it can fly.
That's great.
And then he like picks up a trash can when the lion's on the ground, and he just goes, fly back to hell. Oh my God. And I was dying.
Wow.
Ted Danson's very funny, and he's been getting a lot of good good comedy shows under his belt lately.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome.
It's 5 episodes in. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably not going to talk about it again until the season is over, but I thought it was a blast. Watched all 5 yesterday. And then because of the tragic news of Christopher Plummer, that we'll talk about a little later, I watched my favorite Christopher Plummer movie,
which is
Star Trek 6. Star Trek 6: The Undiscovered Country.
Nice. Oh, he's the bad boy, right?
Yeah, he's General Chang, the Klingon.
Yeah.
He has he's the Shakespeare yelling Klingon. Because guys, if you know, you haven't heard Shakespeare until you've heard it in the original Klingon.
It's true. Real quick, I have a Star Trek anecdote. I was on Twitter and I read a story about a couple who one guy spoke English and the lady spoke Spanish, but they met at a Star Trek convention and they both spoke Klingon, and that's how they communicated together. And I'm like, that's just too nerdy to be good. Oh, I can't. That's
right? It probably is. Except the one I read was like one guy spoke English and his wife spoke French. And But yeah, they met at a Star Trek convention, and the only way they communicate was by speaking Klingon. So that's how they talked to each other, and they eventually got married, which I thought was adorable. At the same time, it's like, wow.
It's not French, the romance language. It's Klingon.
I'm not ever going to be the type of Star Trek nerd that can spout Klingon.
Yeah.
But
another commitment.
Yeah,
but like community college offered. It was part of like the foreign language course. And it was actually like, hey, if you want to learn how to speak Klingon, we have a course. And I was this close to like, why not?
Like a waste of your college education, if you ask me.
Hey
guys,
I have a pro tip. Klingon is just derivative of Egyptian. Learn Egyptian.
That's so much cooler. Sure.
That's true. Gene Roddenberry just changed some adjectives and shit.
Awesome.
Yeah. So speaking of Klingon, Christopher Plummer has to spout not just Shakespeare, but Shakespeare in Klingon, and be convincing. And it's really great. It's just such a fun performance. I love it. I love watching him in that role. He's so big and dramatic and things. It's awesome seeing him play against William Shatner like that. Well, that's really all I did. Unfortunately, I had another pretty bad depression week, so I wasn't motivated to do a whole lot more.
I feel you, bud. Yeah.
Next.
I'll go, sure. I returned to working full time and having the worst schedule in the world. So I've watched now more Critical Role or listened to a combination of both than I have, I think, any other television show I've ever watched in my life, in terms of just to watch something once. Because TV shows run 50 episodes, 100 episodes. I've now listened to 150 hours of Critical Role because they've been doing this for 5 years and every episode is 3 to 5 hours long. So that's perfect for work. Ben, we talked about this before. If you guys don't know it, Critical Role is a live Dungeons and Dragons playing session between all the coolest voice actors in the world. It's a lot of fun. They get really into the characters, and it's really special. And Ben, you've watched it, so you know why. It's not just people playing a board game. It's these really talented actors. They're not just voice actors. There's actors really getting into these characters. And watching a television show, these characters develop over time, but it's not 1 hour at a time. It's literally 100 hours of building characters. So when emotional stuff happens, people are crying and they're really invested. And I get emotional. I'm like, this is really impressive. It's like live theater while also playing board games. It's I can see why it was a phenomenon when it came out and why it still has hundreds of thousands of live viewers every single week that they do it. It's really great. It's also just helping me with my RPG thing that I'm building. Because
it's Dungeon and Dragon, the soaps.
Yeah, 100%. The days of our dungeons. Yeah.
It honestly kind of is. There are times where, even though you guys
days of our dungeons.
What?
It's just days of our dungeons.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm going to work and I'm like, man, I don't want to go to work, and now I would see where I work. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I would pop in Critical Role. It's like, oh man, I'm going to be sufficiently entertained for the next. I'm working, but at the same time, it's like I'm in a decent spot at work where I'm not have to run around like a chicken with my head cut off, and I get to listen to Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours. This is good.
Yeah. And it's D&D is it's improv more than anything. You are role playing this a character, whether it's sci-fi, fantasy, any type of role, but it's just a lot of fun, and it's again helping me to see what I can do to make myself a better dungeon master and game master, and how what not to do and what to do and stuff like that. So that's been fun. I played a couple of video games for a few hours each just to get more mech action in. So I re-downloaded Titanfall 2. And hey, guys, I've said it before, but that's seriously one of the best video games ever made. Like Titanfall 2, the action is so good, and they actually made such a compelling story between you and this mech who you get bonded to. It's really, really cool. It's really good world building. The action is great. It's set in the same world as Apex Legends, which is a Fortnite-esque game that's out now. So that actually makes you want to go back to that game because it's the same type of gameplay and inside that world. So maybe check that out later. I also got back into XCOM, which is another tactical role-playing game. And that's about shooting aliens and like hiding behind cover, and you die a lot and you lose a lot of friends. And that's games. It teaches you a lot about survival, much like BattleTech, which is another game I put a few more hours into. I talked about that last week. Another mech tactical game. I'm into a lot of tactics, you guys. It's lots of moving pieces and calculating numbers. It's a lot of fun. Besides that, I didn't read any comics. Oh, nope. I read one. Nope, no, I didn't. I read this week's book club is what I read. So that's me. It's mech attack, mech action. I did some stuff with Ben. He helped me with my role-playing game.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you want to pass the baton to Ben?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So, gentlemen, I have some good news.
You're a millionaire.
I freaking wish. No, my toe's healed.
Yeah.
My toe's pretty much healed. Bad news is I have to go back to work on Monday, and
I'll be honest. Once you set the bar at you're a millionaire, anything else is just going to be sad.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I've been walking around with my foot, so my foot's pretty much healed. Where doctor said I'm good. They want to do a trial run at work on Monday, so I still have to go back next Friday. And I mean, other than that, cool. I'm not in pain anymore, which is always nice. But besides that, I actually did do quite a bit this week. I finished DuckTales. That's one of the things I really want to get into with Brandon because I finished. I finished season 2 of DuckTales, which is the latest season that's on Disney Plus right now. And by God, I want them to put season 3 up so bad right now.
Season 3 still hasn't aired its final episodes, which is why it hasn't been put on Disney Plus yet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know I've said it before. Brandon said it. DuckTales is amazing. The new DuckTales is amazing. David Tennant, I just cannot sing his praises enough.
No spoilers. No spoilers. But if the Darkwing Duck Disney Plus series coming out doesn't spin off directly from that 2-parter from DuckTales, I will be very disappointed because they do some really cool, interesting shit with Darkwing Duck in those 2 episodes.
Yeah, I'm quote unquote trade waiting for DuckTales because I'm not trying to actively go out and seek DuckTales and watch them. I'm just gonna wait until they're all on Disney Plus. I'm just gonna binge the whole thing. Hell, I might finish the whole season in one go. Who knows? But yeah, DuckTales is hilarious. The ending of season 2, I was not expecting that. It does make me want more. And do not sleep on that new DuckTales show, guys. That show is phenomenal.
Well, it's already canceled. So
I already slept on it.
It's been. I'm so sleepy, you guys. I can't.
You slept on it. You just watched it.
Yeah, I won't even say I didn't sleep on it because I also didn't watch it when it was airing. It's canceled. We're the reason why it's canceled.
I gotta tell you, like, I am so upset that that I dropped off most of the shows, the cartoons specifically I was keeping up with when we moved, because I was up on DuckTales, Tangled, Big Hero 6, the series, all the Cartoon Networks, and then we moved, and I lost my direction on all of them. Partially because a lot of them I was watching with Megan, and partially because like I just had to figure out how I was going to watch them now.
Sparks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were all canceled.
Yeah, I know.
It's our fault. We did
all
it.
Your fault.
No, apparently like Disney's like 3 seasons for cartoon shows. That's it.
I can see why Tangled went 3 seasons because it's an expensive show. But
except I think Lion Guard still hasn't been pulled.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Ben, go ahead and go into your week, but
Star and Course of Evil, that was supposed to have a lot more seasons to it, but then that only got 3, which that was
what show?
Star versus the Force of Evil. That's the show that Sparks and I talked about.
No, Lion Guard also got canceled after 3.
Hey, it's better than Netflix's 2.
Yeah,
Netflix is also 3.
Is it? Oh, is it 3? Okay.
Yeah.
Girl Meets World is 3.
Girl Meets World is 3. We talked about that how they canceled the live action shows after 3 seasons, but not their animated shows. Now they've done their animated shows.
Man, what's going on at Disney right now? What the hell?
Can you imagine?
Stars 3 also, isn't it?
Yeah, Stars 3.
Can you imagine if Rebels didn't
Gravity
get
Falls is 2.
Okay, well, Gravity Falls is the exception because that had to be because that was preordained. That was they knew that they were going to end it at 2.
Sort of. That was sort of preordained.
Can you guys imagine if Rebels aired now and only got 3 seasons?
Oh, that'd be a crime.
Big bummer.
No, it would just get the Clone Wars treatment and get like a sequel season like 6 years later with better graphics and stuff.
Right. Anyway, sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
So besides DuckTales, the other media I've mostly been consuming is, of course, video games. Before I go into the big one that I was playing with these two mostly during this week, I've gotten a lot more into Super Mario Maker 2. I haven't built any courses yet, but I'm still playing through other people's courses. That game is awesome. I know it's been out for a while. And just to go on to Super Mario, apparently Super Nintendo World over at Universal Studios Japan just had their grand opening. Ooh, and yeah. I made the mistake of watching a blogger's video about it, and it made me sad, not because how like things are bad. Everything looks fantastic, but it makes me sad because I can't go because COVID is still around.
And money.
Yeah. COVID.
Yeah, I wish I could afford a trip to Japan.
I mean, I wish I could afford a trip to Japan too, but at least
I wish I could afford a trip to Japan, not go, and not have to worry about other things.
But Brandon, in my mind, the first barrier is COVID. The second barrier, as in money to go to Japan, is a little easier to get over. Whereas this one, it's not on me to get over.
Oh,
it's like
Mr. Job Security over here. We have someone in the chat real quick. Scott Melville. Ben, let's go.
Yeah, that's one of my buddies from Cactus Club. Hey, Scott. But yeah, so I watched the video on the park. Park looks amazing. I watched the video on the merchandising. I know if that event, if I don't go to the Japan one, I'll definitely go to the United States one once those are built and open and ready to go without fear of COVID and everything. Thanks, buddy. And
you bring a cookie to the class, you share with the whole class.
Oh no, you think I'm not going to bring you guys stuff? Of course I'm going to bring you guys stuff.
No, Scott. Oh. He's going to take you on this podcast. He's going to say that he takes all of us.
For a package deal. It's like Costco.
You know what, Ben? Just wait, because as soon as COVID is done, Universal Studios will open, and they will have a Nintendo World.
Because I know they're building one Nintendo World in all of the parks. So both parks here in the United States will get one, which is cool. But at the same time, it's like I know once I eventually go to Super Nintendo World, I'm probably gonna bring like just like $200, $250, maybe $300 in cash with me just for merchant alone. Oh yeah, because that stuff looks awesome.
It does.
Avengers Campus was supposed to be open 7 months ago.
Yeah, it was.
Ow.
It'll open up when Black Widow comes out.
I was going to drop money there too.
Yeah.
One of my friends, Micah, he was going to take me as his +1.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn you, COVID.
Oh, it's too bad Disney tried to open up a park during a pandemic. God, it's not like it was in works for 5 years.
Takes time to build memories.
That should be their slogan. You know, with that, the Pardon Our Stardust on it should be take time to build memories.
Give me the money, Disney.
That's good.
Yeah, that's just pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'm gonna write that down. I don't know why, but I'm gonna write it down.
Good.
So, right, besides playing Super Mario Maker 2, I also beat Bloodborne finally with my brother. So we beat the last boss.
Which ending did you get?
The one where the creepy nightmare thing hugs me, puts me into its face, and then I'm on the wheelchair replacing German.
Did you not fight it?
No.
Oh, Ben, you got the bad ending.
I know, I got the bad ending. I didn't get the umbilical cords. I only got one umbilical cord. We didn't go back because after I beat it, I was like, "Oh, we can go back." New game plus instantly started.
Yeah, you get umbilical cords, which give you insight to help you see the elder beings from the cosmos. Oh, yeah, it's a Lovecraft game, guys.
Oh, I know.
I love it.
I know.
Yeah,
so I'm talking to you, Ben.
Explaining to them.
I'm not telling you.
So yeah, Bloodborne's fun. Can't wait. Next game I plan to play with my brother is Demon Souls. But besides that, another game I found out that him and also his girlfriend plays is a game that Sparks and Ryan got me into last week, and they really got me into it this week. You rat bastards. Yeah.
I hear somebody has a battle pass.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Money.
I'm on the Fortnite train. And
Is it fun, Ben? Are you having fun?
okay, when I'm playing with you guys and I'm playing with my brother, it is fun. I haven't played solo yet. So yes. And I know I've crapped on Fortnite in the past, and I've given so much shit to the game, but it has gotten a whole lot better. And if you like games and you play them, go ahead and play them.
I think where the battle pass becomes important is if you're playing solo. If you play a lot of Fortnite on your own, you want the battle pass because otherwise everything's just kind of
for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that could be fine if that's what you like. Like Fortnite can still be a fun thing to do.
It's still a fun
mindlessly
game to play
while you listen to a podcast or something.
Yeah.
Totally fits the bill. But for me, I don't think I would play it by myself if I didn't have the battle pass.
No, because you got quests and you're always leveling up to get like the next cool thing.
Gotta get Baby Yoda.
Get Baby Yoda.
Actually, I was because today was Super Bowl Sunday, so there's a lot of stuff. I was watching the football game, and also I had stuff to do for the show today, so I haven't been able to touch it. I don't know if I'll play tonight, to be perfectly honest. But it's definitely a game where you can just go and you do your quests and get out and do something else. Or if you actually do have friends online, you can play with them. Because I remember Sparks, we were playing with Travis earlier this week. And
yes, we got also Travis, my friend, jumping in for the first time. We got to talk about that for a second because so when Ryan and Ben and I play, we play like an executing, like we're doing a swap.
Wait, let me guess. Is Travis a wild card?
Yeah.
That's how he plays games.
In such a way where you watched other Fortnite players playing trios who are used to dealing with the people who are coordinated and they're doing their attacks. And Travis is like, we're on the ground shooting at them. Travis is drawing a car at them just around and hopping out of it randomly and shooting them, jumping back in the car and driving around. And they clearly don't know what to do to stop him.
I specifically remember like coming downstairs and you're like, Travis, where are you going? And I'm like, we can't do that in Fortnite. So that made me laugh.
Chaos incarnate.
That's great. That makes me happy.
One of the best lines I heard when we were playing was Sparks saying, like, Travis, you are chaos. And all I hear Travis is going, wee, because he's in a car and he's going off little cliffs and everything.
I was so happy to find out you could use vehicles.
Yeah, it's good.
So, not only that, I just find it, I don't know if it was a bug or if it's just like some stroke of dumb luck. I'm really hoping it's a stroke of dumb luck because when you two got me into it and the three of us played all together, we got 3 victory royales in a row playing trios. When Sparks, Trax, and I played, we played twice. Oh no, we played 3 times as well, 3 full rounds. We got 2 victory royales in a row. And the last match, I want to say we got like maybe 3rd or 2nd place. We were really close to winning. We got 2nd, yeah.
There were 2 people left, and we got done in.
The same pro gamers. That's what I'm saying.
But the funny thing is, while we were playing with Travis was saying, "It's like I don't think these are real people, guys. I don't think we're playing." And it's like, no, these are real humans we are playing against. He's like, that was.
Like it's not just on your PlayStation. You play it on the PC, on the Switch, and on your phones. So like there's a million people playing that game on their phone. So they do not have the same just capabilities as we do. But also they don't really care because Fortnite's a pretty easy, simple game to play. So sometimes you'll get like the last time we played, we got a lot of like heavy builders, and we just can't compete with those guys because they're probably like 11 years old and have reflexes of a tiger. We can't win against that. We're getting too old. Can't do it.
Although I was happy there's this really tough level I was playing on. It wasn't a Kaizo style level, but it was still like pretty tough that I was able to be. I was the first one to clear it, and that made me proud.
But we're definitely gonna play some hard ass levels. It's gonna be a nightmare.
No, playing Super Mario Maker 2. Why is it? Because I mean, I know you guys are still doing Basement Arcade, even though we're still in the quarantine. We're still trying to stay safe and everything. I can't actually physically be there to play the games with you guys. But as I'm playing Mario Maker 2, I know we talked about when the game first came out, and it's been like a year and a half after. It's like, as I'm playing, it's like, God, we need to do stuff with this. This is so much fun. It's so much creativity. I cannot tell you how many times I go into a level, and there's a few levels. It's like, hey, video game music quiz. And people make the music in the game, and you have to pick which side. If you pick the right one, congrats. But if you don't, then you just fall into spikes of death.
It's really cool. There's a lot of innovation.
So many people get creative through that game, and it boggles me. It makes me want to go, but at the same time, because it's so massive, it's like part of me feels overwhelmed if I want to make a course because it's like, God, where do I start? What do I do?
You just start. You just start. Yeah. Just like literally any other art project in life, you just start and see where it takes you.
Yeah. As of right now, I'm going through the story mode slowly but surely. I'm actually pretty close to beating. Oh, not being a story level, or maybe being close to being in the story mode. In story mode, you have to help fix Peach's castle, and the castle's like 67% complete right now.
Look at that. Oh, so, 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, 2/3 of the way there. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week, just enjoying it. And then I got the news on Friday. It's like, hey, you can go back to work. I'm like, no. And also, the Super Bowl was today, and a certain someone got their 7th ring, even though I did not want them to.
Was it the person in our chat?
Was it the Mandarin? Because he only needs 3 more to get his whole collection.
Sure. Oh my God! What if Tom Brady's the Mandarin?
Listen, if that's the cameo in Shang-Chi, like I won't hate it. I'll hate it, but I think it'll be fine.
I will definitely hate it.
Sparks?
Yeah. Hey, what's up? I watch Gilmore Girls. That still happens.
If you need me
around the other things, huh?
We texted about it.
We did text about it because there's particular stuff that went on, and I'm like, yo. The show can be mad infuriating sometimes. Especially like coming at it from like, I can recognize that the show's made in the era that it's made in and everything. And I remember what shows were like at that time, but I'm like, man, hate this sometimes. Fortnite, we talked about plenty. Megan and I finished Queen's Gambit. That's a really good show. I think last time we talked about it, I was maybe a little bit down on it, even while I was saying it was good. There's definitely one episode in the middle where I won't say the whole episode is just worthless. That's not accurate, but most of it could have been cut and it wouldn't have changed the show much. And that kind of created a lull that Megan and I had difficulty coming back around from. But now we finished it. I really like it. I think it's a good show. I think Anya Taylor-Joy is doing a fantastic job. I think the cast is really good. There's things in the story I still don't like there's this kind of problematic. It takes until the last episode for them to be clear. Like, no, she realizes now she never needed drugs and alcohol in order to be great at chess. And I'm like, that maybe took a little bit too long. Yeah. But they do like kind of go, no, she gets it now. And I'm like, oh, all right. There's good stuff in it. I probably will end up watching it again at some point because currently in my film editing class, my professor has talked about it, that he thinks it's one of the best shows to look to for editing purposes. In terms of you are constantly watching this girl play chess matches, but you're never bored. Mm-hmm. And like just the way that the show is edited together is actually very impressive. And I'm going to have to go back and take a deep look at that. Brandon, is a book going to attack you?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure because you're looking real nervous over at your shelf.
No, sorry, I have a crank in my neck.
Okay.
I want to watch that show. So if you need to rewatch it sometime soon,
I'd like to specifically just pay attention to the ending. I kind of want to get a little bit of distance from it, but like it's worth the watch if you guys, it's a limited series. Like I said, there's at least one episode that really drags. You got to get over that hump. And I still stand by that. Pretty much every episode opens with a flashback to when she's really, really young, and it's with her mom, and they cast a really young girl for her, and that girl's fine. If you're not, I'd argue even if you are binging the show, those flashbacks kind of aren't meaningful in the moment. She doesn't even talk about her mom until the end, and like why those flashbacks would even matter. It's just like it's trying to keep that present in your mind. I didn't think that the stuff about her mom landed in terms of her reflecting on it or the flashbacks that started each episode. But that's just the other part of it. And then I still don't think that the in-between girl that plays her when she first gets to the orphanage is necessary. I think they could have just had Anya Taylor-Joy and I would have accepted. She looks a little old, but that's fine because she still plays her a couple years later at the orphanage, and then it is Anya Taylor-Joy, and I'm like, well, this just could have been her because she's got another friend there who's the same actress.
Yeah.
In both time periods, and I'm like, just have it be her. Like, it's honestly jarring because that in-between girl just doesn't feel like the same character.
That sounds weird if the friend is the same.
Yes, that's the part that throws you. That's the part that throws you is because like it says 2 years later, and the same girl gets up, and then Anya Taylor-Joy gets up, and I'm like, what?
That seems odd.
Yeah, it's real bizarre.
How bizarre.
It like, yes, Anya Taylor-Joy looks too old to be the age she's supposed to be. I'm like, I would have allowed that to accept that the performance would feel consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Jujutsu Kaisen, watched another episode. That's a really good anime. I'm actually really super enjoying it. I'm really glad that I'm watching it with people. WandaVision, we watched it. It's crazy, guys. If you're not watching WandaVision, you should be watching WandaVision. My friend John Radley, a friend of the podcast, messaged me today to tell me that after the latest episode, he tried to explain the importance of the ending of the episode to his wife, and he said that it was like trying to explain it to a cat. So he's just really glad that our show is there for him to go and like get that kind of nerd connection out for.
That's a good one.
On the note of another anime, Promised Neverland came back for its second season a few weeks ago. Megan and I just started it together. We just watched the first episode of the second season. That show is tight. That show is awesome. That show had a fantastic ending to its first season. And I really love when anime goes, so here's the premise. And by the end of the first season, they go, now forget the premise. The show has changed. And season 2 is like, the show has changed. And you know that from like minute 1. It's like the show is totally different. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be wild.
Kind of like a Gurren Lagann?
Kind of. In the sense that, like, I don't think this is spoilery to tell you that, like, the concept is when the show, like, the concept of Promised Neverland is that they're all these kids who are being raised by this one woman, and it's all this perfect life and everything, but then a couple of them find out that actually they're being raised as, like, they are food for this demonic species that lives outside the walls of their preserve. And so the whole season becomes about escaping. Well, the second season, I'm just going to say they're not on the farm anymore. So things are wild. But you go through one, and it's only a 12-episode season. You go through one 12-episode season, and they're out, and they're doing other things now with the show, and it's wild. Really enjoy it.
Is it Peter Pan related?
No, not at all. So the sense of the Promised Neverland is that they find a part of the whole thing is when they're on the farm, they realize that there is a world beyond the wall that matters because they find a book from a person who has left codes for them to decipher that promises them there is a world out there. So that's the Promised Neverland.
Got it.
But it's really, really good. Yeah, it sounds like it would be about Peter Pan, but it's not. I highly recommend it. The only problem I have with it, and I have this problem in anime in general, beautiful 2D animation in Promised Neverland. Honestly, gorgeous. And Megan got thrown by this because she hasn't seen this in anime before because they didn't do it in the first season. There are creatures that we see in the second season, and they are 3D CGI animated in comparison to the 2D, and it looks a little jarring. For creatures and vehicles, I find it mostly acceptable if it's done well to do 3D CG animation with the 2D animation. Environments and characters or background characters, especially characters who are usually 2D but are turned into 3D for certain shots, no bueno. Usually do not like that. Promised Neverland did do that with an environment shot and a creature shot. Creature shot was fine. Environment shot was no good. This will come up again twice later in the episode because we got 2 anime trailers to talk about where this is an issue. So bear that in mind. But Promised Neverland is still mostly beautiful 2D. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is because I had a lot of school stuff, so I was doing school stuff, but I got ahead of some of my school stuff, and I had my Friday, and you know what? I came down, and I'm like, you know what I've really been wanting to do? I've really been wanting to get back to one of the campaign games I've been playing, which is mainly that I'm in the middle of Last of Us Part 2 and Avengers, and I'm at a good point in Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, you actually been playing it?
Oh, well, yeah, I got up to Seattle.
Okay.
And so my whole thing is like, I know I'm at a good point in Last of Us Part 2 where I can walk away from it for a while. And when I go back, I won't feel like I missed a bunch because I feel like I played a whole section. And I can peacefully leave it alone for a while. And I don't really want to pick it up until I'm ready to like plow through another whole thing. So I decided to go to Avengers. And my thought process on Friday was, I'm just going to play a couple hours. I'm going to go find one of the Avengers. I'm going to do couple missions. That's it.
I think I see where this is going.
I played for like 6 hours.
Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah.
I am going to tell you, and I really do want us to talk about this game after you guys play it. I want to talk about the campaign because the game has its flaws, but the campaign is not one of them. Not even a little bit. I am not lying to you or bullshitting you, and I'm going to repeat it when we do that conversation. Black Widow's introduction story mission, the whole level, is some of the greatest narrative video gaming I've played in a while.
Black Widow is voiced by Laura Bailey, one of the members of Critical Role.
Black Widow's mission is one of the most fun and engaging things I've played in that game. It was so good. It was challenging. Every time I thought, oh, this is the last boss of the mission, I was wrong. And there was another, and I'm like, I'm freaking Black Widow. I don't even have her yet. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And like, but she's incredibly fun to play with. Surprisingly, like really, I'm like, wow. I guess I have to say, like, I think there are gameplay mechanic flaws. One of the things is that I think everybody moves weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just running looks weird.
Also, like, the terrain is so big and open, and if you're not, like, a flying character, then it's just Black Widow just giant hopping, while Iron Man is flying and stuff like that. It's like, its movement is a problem in that game, I think.
I don't know if I'd say I think it depends on the mission, and I don't know if I'm at the point where I'd say, oh, it's a problem with Black Widow, because Black Widow's was designed for her.
Oh, sorry, that's like inside mission.
Yes.
Once you do all the outside missions, though, like...
I haven't done that with her, so
yeah.
I won't say that yet.
There you go, okay.
But here's the thing. It is very impressive how they have kept a consistent control scheme across these characters, yet no one feels like I'm playing the same thing. It's the same basic functioning controls.
Light attacks, heavy attacks, special attacks.
But I don't, and the movement and stuff, but I don't feel like I'm playing the same character at all. I don't feel like I'm playing the same controls. I feel like everything is landing different. This is very different from when we did the demo.
Yeah.
The beta.
Yeah.
When I said I don't feel like the hits for the different characters feel right, I do feel like the hits for the different characters do feel correct now. And there's a point in the story where things happen and you're just kind of sucked in, and like you're like, I could quit, but I can't quit. You gotta just like roll through.
It's compelling.
And it's really good stuff. It's really good stuff. That Avengers game is pretty good, guys.
And that story, I think, was good enough, and the gameplay was good enough where after I beat that campaign, I still played the multiplayer stuff for a long time until I just exhausted the content. And now that you're far enough away from it, there is a lot more stuff. And there's an entire another character.
So that you know what I did. I did all the way from when you first meet Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
I went from there all the way to stopping the leader's attack on the Chimera.
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to reassess where he's got his secret lab.
I love it.
Wild.
Fun game.
Wild stuff. Highly encouraged.
I'm glad you're liking it.
Yeah. But that's me. That's my week. Avengers was a big part of it, apparently.
Nice.
So, cool. I'm itching to get back to it.
Makes me happy.
Okay. That's all?
That's me.
That's it.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go into our bread and butter.
Da-da-da.
Bread and butter.
Look at that. I like that. It gives me a minute to pick up my tablet.
There you go.
Okay. We've got some sad news actually up top. A lot, again, like last week. Dustin Diamond passed away this week. He was most famous for playing Screech on Saved by the Bell. He died this week at the age of 44 due to stage 4 lung cancer.
Right.
Oh, that's awful.
That's
horrible. That really sucks. There's a Saved by the Bell reboot that everyone's come back to, and like he wasn't invited.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm really familiar with him. But like that's like an iconic role. Like for teenagers and stuff. Yeah.
He definitely struggled to find work after that, but Saved by the Bell was formative for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Robert A. Altman, who is the Bethesda Softworks co-founder. It sucks. Husband to Linda Carter.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know
that.
Wow.
Passed away this week at the age of 73.
Oh,
bummer.
Yeah.
Man, Bethesda, it's a great company. I love that company. Good. Thanks, man.
Hal Holbrook, who is a very famous actor who I actually saw on stage once.
Ooh.
I saw his Mark Twain show.
Yeah.
No offense, boring as hell.
I think I saw that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been the same audience.
It was I think he did that like 3 nights, but it was in Carmel, right?
Oh, I thought it was at the Golden State.
No, he did it at Carmel. They might have been different years.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, he did that Mark Twain show, the one-man Mark Twain show since the 50s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, he passed away this week at the age of 95. But he actually passed away on January 23rd. They just told us now that he passed away.
It's a long life.
Long life, long career. I recently saw him in West Wing. He plays one of the secretaries of state.
Right on.
He's very good in that. He's very good in everything I saw him in. Paulie Lou Livingston, who people will probably only know as the voice of Tree Trunks from Adventure Time.
Oh,
the little yellow elephant.
Yeah.
Oh.
She passed away.
Oh,
this week.
you sweet babe. I'm so sorry. She's green.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Brandon.
What do you see? Give me your eyes.
I would if I could. I'm so sorry. I just realized that all the Green Lantern Corps must look weird to you.
They look green. I hope
Look, you're green.
Like
you're green. My green.
The woes
Like
of
the
being
brown Lantern
colorblind.
Corps.
I know, like what color? I would love to know what color you guys see is green.
I know. I wish there were a way to project that kind of thing.
They have special glasses or something, right?
They're kind of bogus. They're not. They don't really do
all
it.
those people who start crying, you telling me those are all fake?
No, it's like it's kind of an artificial effect. It's not actually showing them correct colors. And it only works on certain like color spectrums, but it's not actually correcting their vision.
Gotcha.
I looked into it because I wanted to get Brandon some for a gift, but they're not real.
Gotcha.
Well, okay. Anyway, Tree Trunks passed away at the age of 91. That's apparently like her first thing.
Yeah,
she wasn't in anything prior to Adventure Time. She was very old when she
just decided to. I want to try acting.
I didn't look too much into it and everything, but I do know that like Tree Trunks was really important to her. Her official obituary says she's best known for playing that sexy little elephant Tree Trunks on Adventure Time. I'm like, oh my god,
that's awesome.
And they ask in her honor for donations to an elephant sanctuary, which I think is really sweet.
Oh. That's awesome. Interesting.
I hope there are apple pies in heaven for her.
Do you remember when they killed her like 3 episodes into the show?
And then brought her back as like
I remember that ending, and then like she dies, and they're just standing there like, and then it goes to black, and then it cuts to Tree Trunks just like wandering the crystal afterlife, laughing, and you're like, oh my god.
What?
For kids.
Tree Trunks took care of the Lich when he became a giant baby.
Yes.
Aw. That's sweet.
Oh no, I remember that episode. She was about to talk to her husband and in a divorce, like, oh, this changes everything. I was like, wait, did I read that right? I remember watching that episode live. I was like, what?
What was the Sweet Pea?
Sweet Pea, yeah.
Sweet Pea. Who in 1,000 years in the future is over 1,000 feet tall, wandering ooh.
Yep.
Also, like the same episode where I found out that because I always knew like the Lich was like some creepy dude, voiced by Ron Perlman. Did not know that until that episode.
Ron Perlman.
All right, and then as I alluded to up top, Christopher Plummer passed away this week at the age of 91 as well. That one hurt me.
Yeah, that dude, man, class act, great actor. Literally like 60 years of acting, 50 years of acting. Like, geez.
Both him and Paulie Lou lived long lives, which is really nice.
Yeah.
91's not the worst age to clock out at. But it's still unfortunate to lose him. But like especially Christopher Plummer leaves a illustrious career behind him,
making movies like multiple movies still a year, like as a big star. I'm like, man,
God bless that we got him in Knives Out before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Well, not just like thank goodness he's in that All the Money in the World. Like he did that in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and he was already like 85 at that point. Now he's crazy.
He was also the original Captain Von Trapp in Sound of Music, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
rips up that Nazi flag.
That's insane to think about. Like that's one of his early things, and he's been acting since then for decades.
It's weird because when I saw the picture of Captain Von Trapp or Christopher Plummer as Captain Von Trapp, and then him in Knives Out, I was like, wow, I did not know because when I was in high school, my senior year of high school, that was our spring musical. So I had to watch Sound of Music to try, get a gauge for the character for my audition. And I thought, man, this guy is awesome. Like not just the character, but the guy playing him, he is awesome.
He
and
was
so years later. It's Christopher Plummer, and now I have a better understanding of who Christopher Plummer is. It's like, man, I'm gonna miss that guy.
66 years ago, A Sound of Music came out.
Mag says, and The Man Who Would Be King. Christopher Plummer's in The Man Who Would Be King?
I'm gonna take his word on it.
With Sean Connery and Malcolm Ian, what's the guy's name? Butler from Batman Begins. Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton is Alfred.
Yeah, he is.
Wow, I didn't know that. That movie's
God, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah, that movie rules.
Right on.
That's the movie where Sean Connery supposedly dropped off a bridge for real.
Yeah.
I just saw a weird looking poster. Yeah,
it's a great movie. I really like it.
Man, that's my watch list.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer was like I said, I watched my favorite movie he's in is Star Trek: Undiscovered Country. I think he's just a great performance in that. So, like that one hit me a little hard, surprisingly. All right. Now on to the other things. So we got some Marvel Cinematic Universe news.
The Maku.
There's a trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier. We'll talk about that later. Down the episode. But apparently Don Cheadle is in it.
Yeah, apparently.
Man, we thought Tom Holland was the spoiler king. Nope.
Don Cheadle is just like, yeah, I'm in the Winter Soldier Falcon show. And you're like,
he must have gotten approval to let that slip.
Yeah. Or he
must have.
Or he's not in enough for it to really like they don't need to keep it a secret because he's a cameo or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
He talks about how he also in the same interview he talked about how Tony Stark's death influences Armor Wars, and
that absolutely makes sense. Armor Wars is about Tony's technology getting stolen and mass Iron Man recreations are around the world. I'm
so happy that Don Cheadle's getting Armor Wars, that he's showing up still in the MCU, and I'm happy that he's happy about doing it.
Yeah. I don't think Terrence Howard ever would have.
You always keep asking for more money. It would never stop with him.
I'm still wonder if he's just like, what could have been? Baby?
He'd be Rhodey in Infinity War and argue, why am I not getting paid as much as Chris Evans?
Yeah. Next time, baby.
It's like, I'm sorry. Are you Captain America? No, War Machine. Are you Captain America?
Sorry.
Yeah. I really like Don Cheadle. You know what I want him to slip though? It's great that he slipped that he's in the Winter Soldier Falcon show, as he said it. But I want him to slip that Justin Hammer is in Armor Wars.
Man,
I'm sure it's just not official yet.
Yeah. That's like it's happening. That's like
totally happening.
It's gotta. Well,
I have a feeling that if the second Marvel calls Sam Rockwell, he's gonna be like, yes.
Sam Rockwell did a short film. Of course, they'll say yes.
Sam Rockwell has been no secret keeper in the fact that he wants to come back.
Again, who wouldn't want to work with Marvel at this point? Like, it's free, fun money, baby.
If you can bring back Kat Dennings, and you can bring back Justin Hammer.
It's true.
All right. So apparently, because literally Disney, because it's Black History Month, announced that they are going to do a Wakanda TV series. A series set around the Kingdom of Wakanda, being developed by Ryan Coogler. I didn't ask for Siri. Being developed by Ryan Coogler, which is part of his exclusive 5-year TV deal.
Ooh, hot dog
for him and his production company. Yes, I want to highlight he has a large production company that he's put together with some friends, meant to elevate Black voices. And
that's awesome.
That's great. Cool. So they're getting a deal with Disney, and that's awesome.
So Black Panther 2 is still happening, and then so that will go into the Wakanda show. Do you think they will kill T'Challa off screen?
Yes.
Like, how else do you do it unless you recast him?
Because they have been clear that they are not recasting and not CGIing him.
Yeah.
Yes, he's killed off screen.
Yeah. But the question was, are we getting another T'Challa? I don't think that's the route they're going to go.
Well, it's really not. We've talked about like what I would like them to do, which is not say that T'Challa is dead. Like assume that he is missing and alive, and then it comes back and it's John David Washington.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
But Sparks is probably right. They'll probably kill him. But this Wakanda TV show, it's interesting that Black Panther 2 and this show are described as dealing with the same thing, which is the world of Wakanda, the kingdom of Wakanda.
Again, it might be one of those things where, like, WandaVision leads into Doctor Strange. It could be the movie leads into the show's politics or whatever.
I'm excited for all of this. I think it's great that they're getting this Wakanda show and everything, but I have to say, knowing that we're going to get even more expansion on the world of Wakanda, which is awesome, makes me sit here and go, I really wish you weren't just cutting the cord on T'Challa. I understand how hard it is to lose Chadwick Boseman. That's really, really sad.
Yeah.
I understand that a lot of people close to the project have spoken out that they're like, there's no way you can replace him. And I'm like, I get that, but like, also, I think we could have. I mean, I think we can have that baton be passed on and it be okay.
Yeah.
It's the argument that a lot of people who advocate for that say is like, if we can have 6 Batman and 3 Spider-Man in 10 years, like
right, we can have another Black Panther.
And again, that character means so much to so many people. Like he should live on. Yeah. Like it shouldn't, like, of course, like Chadwick Boseman is great as Black Panther, but like more people can play a superhero.
I have not seen a lot of Black voices that aren't connected to the project or connected to Chadwick Boseman in some way who haven't said, I still think we could have another T'Challa. But there are plenty of strong Black actors who can step into the role and do it with tribute and honor.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Blade got a writer.
Yeah, it did.
Oh my God, yeah, it did.
Stacey Osei Kufor, I apologize, who was a staff writer on Watchmen and wrote 1 episode of Watchmen. But she's going to write the movie Blade.
I'm so happy to see a Black voice writing Blade, a Black lady voice writing Blade. I'm stoked.
Yeah. This is also like good confirmation of like how quickly, because they announced Blade and are like, okay, is that in like 5 years? Like that seems very far away. If they're writing it, that's relatively soon. Yeah. Like that means they're going to start working on it in the next, like in a year or so. So like it's happening, baby. Amazing.
Also, I have never been more optimistic about the future of the MCU than I have been over these past few weeks as we've heard more and more people who are getting involved.
Yeah.
This is like the diverse, let's get different, let's get weird, let's not be of the same pattern that we've been, that I want them to go, which is great.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Comic book shows. The CW has renewed their a lot of their shows, such as Batwoman for its 3rd season, Legend of Tomorrow for its 7th season, and The Flash for an 8th season.
How many did Arrow go for?
8.
Okay.
This isn't too surprising when you think about the fact that all of the shows you just named are coming back for hyper shortened seasons this year.
Pandemic.
So that's not super shocking that they're getting the renewals. I don't think that they wanted to end Flash on an abbreviation. If they were to end it, because I do feel like that's coming, but I wouldn't want to end it in like a cut down year. Yeah. Granted, they could have gotten the Supergirl treatment. Supergirl is ending this year, but it's ending with a full beefed up season, which I think means that they're either carrying over through the summer or they're going to take the summer break and come back in the fall, and they're still going to finish it out. Which will be a little interesting and weird, but cool.
I'm happy, even though I haven't watched it, because I know you like it so much. I'm just glad Legends is still getting like another season. Like I'm glad they're allowing that show to be weird still.
Yeah, me too.
That's nice.
They also didn't renew Superman and Lois, but they did announce that they've ordered the back 9, which will round out the season and whatever the length is at this point.
Yep.
So like they did 13 and now they're giving it the extra 9 to make it a full season.
Yeah. They do that all the time. That's just common network practice.
Yeah. It's CW's versus in a fine place, except for canceling 2 of its best shows.
Don't you remember don't you mean the Arrowverse?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Peacemaker cast Nut Lee, I hope, as Judo Master, who is an old Charleston character that DC inherited when Charleston went under.
Oh my God! So it's going to be a James Gunn Kung Fu man. He's probably going to get murdered. Cool. I'm so like that Peacemaker show is such a I've been using the word wild card a lot. Like that show, like I have no idea what that show is going to be because we haven't seen the movie that it's based off of yet. We just know it's Peacemaker, a guy who's Captain America but will do anything for justice, which means he kills people for justice. That's going to be wild. I can't believe it. John Cena rules. That guy he's like risen up in like people. I'm like, yeah, I want to see the dude in a movie, like The Rock was when he was coming up. Very cool.
I'm really excited for the Peacemaker series. Probably more so than the Suicide Squad, even though I am excited. Because like, what is that Peacemaker series? I know Suicide Squad is going to be like James Gunn Suicide Squad.
That is like the equivalent of like their first Disney Plus big show, right?
Yeah.
Like them doing like their own TV DC universe thing. So like, yeah, I can see why. Yeah, it is exciting.
Yeah. All right. And sadly for Sparks specifically, Winona Earp was canceled at Sci-Fi after season 4.
Rip.
Yeah, so this was a bummer because they were greenlit for their 5th season.
Oh.
And then the pandemic happened, and I guess they decided nope. So that sucks. We still haven't seen how Winona Earp ends.
There are 6 episodes that will that haven't aired because of the pandemic, and they will air the final 6 episodes on March 5th.
Yeah. That show's real good. Honestly, I'm glad that show didn't get canceled after season 2. Not because I thought season 2 was a problem or anything. I was just impressed that it kept getting renewed at Sci-Fi because they canceled Krypton, so I expected that anything good might go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect Winona Earp to have the numbers, but I guess it did. I recommend that show, guys. That show's dope.
Based on an IDW comic.
Yes, it is.
All right. Going into the realm of comic books in general, Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl!
Probably the one of, if not the best, of the Future State stories. With Yara Flor. She is getting a new ongoing. We thought miniseries at first, but this is in fact an ongoing.
Oh, that's good.
From Joelle Jones, who wrote the Future State series.
Is she also drawing it again?
Yeah, she's writer-artist.
Oh my god, she's so talented, you guys. Oh my god, she did stuff with Catwoman and on Batman. Like, she's a superstar. This is so great. Yara Flor is so fun. She's so spunky. She asks people to shoot her because she loves the challenge. Big fan. Very excited.
Yeah, this is great.
I'm going to read a little bit of this list, the whole thing.
Sure.
It says, raised in the far-off land of Boise, Idaho, Yara has always felt something has been missing from her life, and now she is headed to Brazil to find it. Little does she know, her arrival will set off a series of events that will change the world of Wonder Woman forever. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that series a lot. All right. Also, it's nice that a post-Future State book isn't Batman.
Yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Because, holy hell.
Yeah.
All right. So DC Universe is gone, and DC Universe Infinite lives. They now have a Marvel Unlimited style comics app, and they will also have original. We've talked about it before. They'll have original comics on there that will just be for the DC Universe Infinite app. The first one has launched, and it's called Let Them Live, which is a new digital series that will feature never before seen comic book tales with a meta narrative connecting them. So basically, what these are is that Ambush Bug is the janitor at DC Comics, and he finds things that were never printed before.
That's awesome.
And he shows the audience. And so that's the comic you're reading, is a comic that's been written 5, 10, 15 years ago that was just never printed.
That's a cool idea that's kind of like a side story, so you don't necessarily need to make a print of it. Like, that seems like a really cool digital thing to do. I think that's cool.
That's really cool. I was really impressed.
Do we still have that? Are you canceling that?
We don't have that.
We don't have that.
Yeah. It's only 3 issues so far I've been playing, but there will probably be more. A lot of people who wrote like one shots and stories for DC are like, hey, I got something that you never printed. You want to put that there?
I'm into it.
Yeah, me too.
Do they know if they're going to print those, kind of like they do the original stuff, the digital stuff?
They haven't said.
Okay.
The first story is a Suicide Squad story. So the one that's out right now is a Suicide Squad story by Jim Zub, Trad Moore, Felipe Sobrero, and Nate Piekos.
You said Trad Moore did it? Dang.
Yeah.
That's a team. Jim Zub's a good guy. That's cool.
The next one will be a Nightwing story written by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, Jorge Corona, Matt Lopez, and Carlos M. Mangual. And then the third one is a Batman story by Scott Bryan Wilson, John Paul Levin, Dave Stewart, and Darren Bennett.
Love it. That sounds cool. All right.
Trad Moore is a name I've not heard in a long time.
I know, right?
It's like, I feel like, where did he go?
He's still doing stuff. We're just not reading the books he's on.
Okay.
Justin Jordan is the one where I'm just like, man, that guy's future was so bright.
He does a lot of independent stuff, but yeah, that height of his is gone, unfortunately.
No, because I remember when Hugo Strange.
You got it.
Oh,
you got it. Luther Strode.
Luther Strode. What? Thank you. That's so. Yeah, because Justin Jordan wrote it, Tradmore drew it, and I was like, man, those two were like at the height. Because then after Luther Strode,
Justin Jordan got Superboy.
Yeah, he wrote Superboy, New 52 Superboy, and then Tradmore got a new Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I mean, he did Silver Surfer with Don Cates a little bit ago, right?
Well, that was later. Like, All New Ghost Rider was his like first Marvel thing.
Oh yeah, that's like 20. I don't remember. Yeah,
good stuff. 2014, 2015. Yeah,
it was just before Civil War.
I feel like after, especially for Superboy, kind of Justin Jordan kind of fizzled out, and then I heard his name once or twice. I'm like, oh yeah, him.
I still see him in the previews. He does independent stuff, but I don't think he was able to kind of ride that high to full-time job comic book writer. You know.
Yeah. Also, wasn't New 52 Superboy
retconned like hell? Yes.
That was my other question. I was like, wasn't it not the best?
So he worked on Amazing Spider-Man 850 and Batman Black and White most recently. So he's doing stuff.
Justin Jordan.
Tradmore.
Batman Black and White had a Gotham Academy character show up, and I almost picked it up because I love that series.
That I've seen some art from that. It looks real good. I might trade that.
That's going to be my Gotham Academy. Is going to be my Oh, you mean Batman Black and White? Never mind.
Yeah, sorry, Batman Black and White. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to trade that one too. All right, Mr. Miracle is getting another 6-issue miniseries.
Ooh.
This is not Scott-Free. This is in fact the third Mr. Miracle.
I love inner incarnations or whatever. Yeah, I love it
because Mr. Miracle Scott-Free is the second Mr. Miracle, and the guy who trained Batman was the first Mr. Miracle. Right, so Mr. Miracle, The Source of Freedom, written by Brandon Easton, with art by Fico Ossio. They're the team doing the backup stories in Superman Man of Tomorrow for Future State.
Mm-hmm.
The John Kent one. Yeah, I just said that. So it's going to be Shiloh Norman. That's his character. That's the third character. He was apparently the apprentice of the first Mr. Miracle.
Huh.
It will see Norman attempting to become the super escape artist of tomorrow. In the process, he encounters a new rival who wants to claim the Mr. Miracle mantle for himself.
I'll give a number one a try.
Yeah, there's only 6 issues.
Yeah.
Future State is not done though, because DC has announced that a new series coming post Future State will be called Future State Gotham. It's going to just be an anthology, essentially, of just the Gotham of the Future State timeline.
So another Batman book, you're telling me.
Oh, another Batman book. Look at that.
Oh my God.
The first 6 issues are going to be about Red Hood, and they're written by Joshua Williamson and Dennis Culver, with art by Giannis Milanogiannis.
Cool. Sorry. Man, it's really such a shame because Red Hood issues 51 and 52 were just a 2-issue arc by a new creative team as just like a stopgap before this new stuff happened. Mm-hmm. And I think that new direction was insanely cool, and it was by a new dope creative team. And I really, really wish they were doing it the direction, but I guess just give it to Joshua Williamson. It's fine.
Yeah, and going back to Future State, arguably the Gotham of Future State is the most boring.
Yeah, I don't like.
Oh no, Gotham got taken over by another paramilitary force.
Yeah, like I've seen that 100 times. Like, yeah. It's cool.
That hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read the solicitation, but basically Red Hood is hunting down the Bat family.
Ooh. Is it still Jason Todd?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to go after Tim Fox and Stephanie Brown and whatnot.
Why? Why would you do that? You're a good guy.
Chain smoking Stephanie Brown.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of things that we're probably not so excited about, Heroes Reborn was announced to have a bunch of tie-ins.
Yeah. Here's the thing. No, read first.
Okay. The first series is from Jim Zub with art by Stephen Cummings. It's one shot. They're all one shots. Just going to say that. Which is Heroes Reborn Young Squadron. This is basically the Young Avengers, but it's the Squadron Supreme. So Sam Alexander is going to be he's known Nova. It's going to be Kid Spectrum. Kamala Khan is Girl Power, and Miles Morales is the all-new Falcon.
Oh yeah, I saw the cover for that. Yeah. So it's basically just a bunch. This is kind of like Future State in a weird way. It's a bunch of like what if like new scenarios with all these characters. Mm-hmm. And I don't I'm glad they're all one shots, and I'm glad this isn't a giant line wide takeover thing. I am more interested in some of these that they're just one shot small Elseworld stories because I love those. I like those type of things.
Yeah.
Right. Like I like Jim Zub a lot, and like I like the Young Avengers, and I love the Squadron Supreme. So like I might pick it up, but like I hate that it's like I mean I think I just don't like because it's Heroes Reborn. Honestly, I think that's just what it is. I hate the title. I hate that it makes me think of the past of that. Like
well, and it's also by a creative team who has been disappointing you lately.
Jim Zub?
No, the Heroes Reborn.
Oh, Heroes Reborn. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness.
Yes. Like as the overall like showrunners. Yes.
Right. Heroes Reborn. Peter Parker, the Amazing Shutterbug.
Jimmy Olsen.
Which is written by Mark Bernardin with art by Raphael de la Torre. Again, another one shot. It's Peter Parker. He's not. He's Hyperion's best friend, and he doesn't have powers.
Yeah, so Hyperion is like Superman in our world, like which is what he always was, but like an offshoot. But now he actually gets to be the center stage. Which again, as a big Squadron guy, that's what excites me. Like the Squadron getting risen up a little bit more. So like I'm mixed on it.
Sure. Heroes Reborn, Siege Society.
I like this one.
This was the first one that caught my eye.
This is good.
Written by Cody Ziegler with art by Paco Medina. I'm going to read the solicitation. It will take place after the squadron splits in half, with Nighthawk leading his new squadron in Europe. However, Baron Zemo forms a team consisting of Black Widow, Sabretooth, Hawkeye, and Scott Lang Ant-Man to take down Nighthawk.
Yeah, I'm into that. I think it's just a rad team, and they all have like new outfits and like all like villainous new outfits. And I'm like, this is a cool Elseworld one shot I'll read. Absolutely.
What ifs are cool?
What ifs are cool.
And you know, it's kind of an interesting concept where it's like, if the Avengers don't exist, Black Widow and Hawkeye don't become good guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
And Scott.
Yeah. Heroes Reborn, Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. I'm sorry. Hyperion and the Imperial Guard.
Yep.
It is about, so it's Ryan Cady with art by Michelle Bandini. This is a teenage Hyperion is going off with the Imperial Guard to save the day.
It's like a bunch of Shi'ar people. Like if you're at Empire, you'd recognize some of these people.
Sure.
Like Gladiator from the X-Men and stuff. A lot of people were saying this is Marvel trying to make DC books, like a DC feel book, and like this book definitely feels like it. That Spider-Man book feels like it. I wouldn't necessarily agree, but it is weird that like it kind of feels like that.
It does kind of remind me of New Age of Heroes, which came out right after Metal, and we had like Damage and Sideways and the Terrific Force, or whatever the hell they were called.
The Terrifics, yeah.
The Terrifics. And they're 1-to-1. You can make the comparison. These are Marvel.
Yeah, it does feel like that, especially that Spider-Man one. It's like it feels very, which again, that's cool. Like he does take pictures. That's who that character is. Yeah, I'm not so hot on this one, even though I do love Hyperion. I think it's weird that they're making him a teenager. That's kind of weird.
Because I think the big thing is like DC exists. I don't need DC content in my Marvel content.
Yeah.
I guess and vice versa. Like that's just not.
Yeah.
Like you got to do something really cool and fun because like not only does DC do plenty of Superman stories, they do plenty of like their own what if Superman stories, and I'm like, I don't need a Marvel what if Superman.
Yeah,
Marvel.
We're literally reading them right now in Future State.
Yeah, story. So it gets a little funky in that kind of area for sure.
This is the one that I'm gonna get. Heroes Reborn, Magneto and the Mutant Force.
Oh baby, yeah.
Written by Steve Orlando with art by Bernard Chang. Hell yeah.
Oh, Bernard Chang. I didn't know he was doing the art. That's a great team.
Yeah, right? I love Bernard Chang. I'm going to read the solicitation for this one. Years ago, Magneto and Professor X led Earth's mutants in a final push for independence against the Squadron Supreme of America. What followed was the Squadron's mutant massacre, a violent rebuttal that left mutant kind forever wounded and Xavier dead. Or so Magneto thought. Years later, Magneto discovers Xavier clinging to life in the astral plane and gathers his allies for a first-of-its-kind rescue mission. Too bad the same mission puts the mutant force back on the Squadron's radar. Failure means the last gasp of mutant kind, but success means the first breath of something even more elusive to the mutants of Heroes Reborn. Hope.
Yeah, man. Magneto and his M-Force. I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of into this.
I'm into that one, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I like Steve Orlando a lot. I'm really into X-Men because of Dawn of X, Reign of X. So yeah.
And Steve Orlando is he's writing that Man Thing book. Like he's getting a bunch more Marvel titles, so like he's getting a next book eventually.
Well, DC didn't know what to do with him, so it might as well.
No, they didn't.
Very disappointing it didn't continue his Wonder Woman run.
Yeah.
Okay, this is probably one of the coolest things I will read on today. Fantastic Four is getting the life story treatment. If you guys remember Spider-Man Life Story, which was a book club, it's what if Spider-Man aged in real time, starting from the 60s onward.
I said it, and I'll say it again. I think that's the best Spider-Man story of the last decade.
That is. Who wrote that? Chip Zdarsky?
Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
Yes. Important. Yes, written by Chip Zdarsky. Fantastic Four Life Story will be written by Mark Russell.
He's great too.
He's fantastic. Written with art by Sean Izaakse. Seeing some of the art pages is gorgeous.
Yeah. I like Spider-Man. I like the Fantastic Four more. So like I'm hella excited to see this. And this is about like a family growing up together. So like I cannot wait to see the turmoil and Reed's egotistic like nature getting in the way and like what that actually does to a family that actually evolves over the decades instead of just like the 5-10 year timeline that's always moving.
It's so interesting that like Reed Richards is a prominent character in Spider-Man Life Story.
Yeah.
Like how the difference seeing those two parallel worlds can be so interesting.
Yeah. And Mark Russell's great. Like he did a lot. He's done a lot of DC stuff, but he's moving over to Marvel now. But he did like Flintstones and like the Snagglepuss Chronicles, and like those are like really lauded books. So like
the Flintstones Future Book Club.
Yeah, dude, that book's so good. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. Like I didn't know if they were going to do any more of these types of life story books, and I'm so glad they are because they're really compelling and they bring such an interesting wrinkle to comic book characters actually evolving. It's my favorite thing, characters evolving in time and stuff like that.
Yeah. Ben, you want to say something?
Yeah, so 2 book clubs that we've had recently, Superman Secret Identity and Spider-Man Life Story, both had to deal with their heroes aging in time and moving forward in time. And both of those books I loved. I loved reading them because frankly, that's the thing with our comic books or mainstream comic books is that heroes don't necessarily age. They kind of seem stuck in one age unless a giant force comes up or we get something like Old Man Logan, which is on alternate timeline.
R.I.P. John Kent.
Yeah. So
just give it a couple of years.
Yeah. So to see stuff like this for Fantastic Four, I'm probably gonna get it straight up. I'm not gonna trade away. I'll probably get it as it's coming out because I'm actually really stoked to see it. Part of me is a little bit bummed that's not being written by Chip Zdarsky because I think I really fell hard in love with the Fantastic Four after reading Fantastic Four plus X-Men.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a good thing that it's not written by Chip Zdarsky because I like the idea that other people, how there's like black, white, yellow, blue. That's just Tim Sale and
Jeff Tim Sale's not Superman, Captain America white, Daredevil yellow, Spider-Man blue, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they're not going that route, which Chip Zdarsky is writing all the life stories for all these characters. It is like Mark Russell is doing this one, and then another writer could do another one.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that is nice that they're branching it out, but I get what Ben's point is, which is that he just got attached to Chip Zdarsky's writing of the Fantastic Four specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Mark Russell is an amazing writer, and he's going to do this book so much justice. I'm looking forward to it, but because I'm just so brand new into this side of Marvel comics that aren't the Avengers, that's like X-Men and now the Fantastic Four. Because now I go to the comic store, when I see that big wall of graphic novels they have, I'm not just skipping over the Fantastic Four. I'm actually like, I should probably ask Ryan about one of these someday.
Yeah, man. One day we'll do that volume 1 of his FF run, and we'll be like, oh, now I'm a fan. Oopsie poopsie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, at least Fantastic Four Life Story isn't getting slotted on, so.
True.
Very true.
Right. All right. And finally, Image Comics has announced Made in Korea, which is a new comic book coming from Jeremy Holt with art by George Shaw. This will come out on May 26th. In Made in Korea, readers will follow Jessie, the world's first true AI system, on an exciting exploration of what it means to be a family in an age when biological parenthood is no longer a reality.
This book is like made for me.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, the preview images look really good. The art's like really sick. This is gonna be some like really like not in depth, but in depth, like just like class warfare, like stuff dealing with like politics and like in a sci-fi way. It's like my favorite stuff. And this is like made from like a real passion behind the writer. So I'm like very, very excited.
Me too. All right. Speaking of excited, Ben, I'm sure you were excited to hear about Sonic Prime.
What is it?
See that hesitation?
What is it?
Okay.
All right. Sonic Prime, real quickly, Ben.
You do the story, I'll chime in.
Sonic Prime is what we heard about a couple months ago when Netflix accidentally leaked a Sonic animated series. This is it. This is the Netflix Sonic animated series. Coming from Sega and Wild Brain Studios, with Man of Action serving as showrunners and executive producers. It will be a 24-episode series.
Wow.
We'll follow Sonic on a high-octane adventure where the fate of a strange new multiverse rests in his gloved hands.
Oh, no, multiverse.
Hey, Ben, you want to know another thing?
What's another thing?
So the people behind Sonic Prime were out on Twitter saying that they wanted to be very specific that, yes, this is in fact the canon with the comics that are being run right now and with the Sonic Team games. So all that's one canon. So nothing fun and funky is going to happen.
Oh, no.
Why not?
Because by specifying they are Sonic Team canon, everything cool that Sonic comics were doing before that won't come in. So they're continuing to be specific. Yes, Ryan's right. It's Legends. They're continuing to be specific that you're never going to see Sally Acorn, so don't get excited.
Oh, why?
Because she's old comic stuff. And that's
she's Archie.
Yo, man, Force Awakens that shit. Bring her back.
Well, now
she's the Mara Jade.
She's the Mara Jade.
She actually is the Mara Jade. Funny.
Oh god.
Okay, so now I'm a little bit bummed about Sonic Prime because the one thing that I did love about Sonic the Hedgehog being the comics, the TV show, and the games was that yes, they involved a certain cast of characters, but each one was different in their own right. The only one that actually did swap over that was somewhat a one-to-one translation was the old Sonic Saturday AM cartoon, which had Jaleel White with this, like Sally, Bunny, and all the other freedom fighters from the comic books. Yeah. That was the only time that was kind of like a one-to-one translation, even though still loose, it wasn't like actual adaptations. But while the games were doing their own thing, the Archie comics kind of had free reign. And then with the IDW books were coming out, I was still like, okay, yeah, they're Archie and IDW. They have to do different. I still like the new characters they introduced in the IDW books, but now that's like, hey, here's a set canon. I'm like, that kind of takes away the fun of it. Yeah. Because like, yeah, you got the Sonic games, which are super loose in their own damn continuity. And then you got the Sonic comic books. It's like, hey, let's have some fun adventures and crazy hijinks. Let's go.
Can I bounce off real quick, Ben? Like, I think one of the reasons I don't like this statement on canon between Sonic Prime, the comics, and the games being made right now is the reason I'm not for that. Why I've never really cared about Sonic canon between them is that it's not like the next game is going to specifically relate or bring in anything from the events of the comics. They're not going to start doing that. They've never done that. And so there's not, like they'll vaguely like reference each other, but they're not building any kind of like character beats or things that will carry over from one thing to the next. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, why? Like, I'm fine with the comics just being the comics, and like I don't need to try and mentally place it with the games. I never did before, and I don't like that that's the direction they're trying to go now with the show, with the comics, with the games.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't need that from my Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't need perfect continuity. That's never been what it's about.
No,
Synergy.
I feel like the only time when the games tried to bring in continuity was, I want to say it was Sonic Generations, but that was because that was like an anniversary game.
Yeah. And
let's look at Sonic's entire history and pull levels from that, and you play those levels again. That was great. Continuity be damned.
Yeah, and even then I would argue that's like a Deadpool sense of continuity.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm happy we're getting a new show. That's awesome. But at the same time, it's like, you really don't have to fight to be like, oh, we don't have to make everything dead straight canon. We don't. I liked how. I liked how it's like you have to show that was different from some of the games and the comics were their own thing. If characters went back and forth, that's great. But still, it was still fun. It wasn't confusing because we don't need continuity stuff like that.
Yeah. I will wait to see animation. Because the animation looks like crap. I don't care.
Please be 2D. Please be 2D. Please be 2D.
2022, we will find out.
Seriously, they had these amazing. Okay, there's these really short. There's these shorts on YouTube from Sonic Mania. They are really awesome. They're beautifully hand drawn. Tyson Hesse, the guy who helped redesign Sonic for the movie, he was the lead animator on that, and he was also an artist and still is an artist as far as I know on some of the Sonic books. He helped draw those animation shorts for Sonic Mania, completely 2D, voiceless, and they are awesome.
Yep, cool. All right.
Do something like that, not any CGI stuff. Okay, I'm done. Rant over.
Who was the director of Birds of Prey?
Catherine Hahn. Go Catherine. Get something Hahn.
Why don't you have this written down?
Yeah, you're the host man.
Was it Chloe Zhao?
No, that's I don't know. Yes, I don't know.
Kathy Yan.
See, I was close.
What's Chloe Zhao done?
She's Eternals, isn't she?
She's Eternals.
Yeah.
Kathy Yan or Kathy Yan. I'm not sure what the pronunciation is.
All right. Chloe Zhao has signed on to write, produce, and direct an adaptation of Dracula for Universal Pictures.
Chloe Zhao has.
Chloe Zhao has, yes.
Okay, cool.
The director of Eternals.
Yes, the director of Eternals.
Okay. Cool.
You just opened this up weird.
Dracula's cool.
I thought it was I got them confused. I apologize.
It's cool. Dracula's cool. That Invisible Man movie's dope. Just make more movies like that. Don't make them $150 million Avengers movies.
Well, the interesting thing is this is the second Dracula project at Universal because Blumhouse is doing one with not Lee Whannell, but someone else.
Oh.
So there's two Dracula projects coming from Universal right now.
That's too spicy.
That sounds really cool. So I'm happy that to have a lady do Dracula sounds great.
Dracula musical.
Kathy Yan, by the way, she's writing and directing a sci-fi love story called The Freshening. It's based off a short story that was just announced today. So since you brought her up, I thought I'd mention it.
But Chloe Zhao described the new Dracula series, new Dracula movie, as a original futuristic sci-fi western.
Okay.
Yo, that's saying a bunch of words and I love it.
So we'll see. Maybe one of these Dracula films won't reach the finish line, but we'll see.
Maybe.
HBO Max is getting into the podcast game with Batman.
Oh.
HBO Max is going to be launching a comedic Batman podcast sometime this year. Dennis McNicholas, who is a writer on SNL, will write and direct the series. And Jeffrey Wright, Commissioner Gordon in The Batman, The Watcher, and What If, has been signed on to play Batman.
Okay, weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
I mean, he does have a really good booming voice, though.
No, totally.
After Harley Quinn, I'm not going to say no to this. It's just initially a Batman comedy is not what I initially want. But again, Harley Quinn's like one of the best things they've ever made. So if it's like that.
The weird thing here is that this is an audio podcast that can only be streamed on HBO Max.
It's sub-proc about Batman.
It's really strange that it's an HBO Max podcast to me.
Makes me wonder if it's going to have like minor animation behind it. I wonder because it's on HBO, right? So it won't just be a blank screen like a podcast.
No, you're just putting out a black screen.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be
no, it'll be like our other YouTube videos where we're not recording live and it's just a picture.
Yeah, I mean, that just seems weird. Lazy on their part, but maybe there'll be some production value of some kind.
Go ahead.
I was thinking maybe they can throw up concept art or something.
Concept art for a podcast. What would that look like?
Or it's it's a comic book, and they have comic book panels on the screen.
Okay, that could work.
That'd actually be pretty cool if they try to make if they try to audio drama comic stuff.
Okay, so back in my old house, there would be times I would throw on YouTube on my PS4 to put music on when I'm clean the house or doing chores. So maybe they thought, hey, if you're doing stuff around the house, you could throw on a audio podcast to help. And you're because you're not watching the TV, you're going around doing stuff. Because people they use their smart TVs to throw on YouTube and other things to listen to it. They're not watching the video; they just listen to it. Yeah, us.
That is true, but also if it's a podcast, why wouldn't you just release it on every single podcast platform like every other podcast on the planet? So that's why I'm saying I think they're doing something different if it's gonna be on HBO Max. This seems, unless they're just being super lazy.
I don't know. These are the same people who are like, you'll be able to stream all the Harry Potter movies, and then didn't have them 2 months after they launched the streaming service.
That seems different than the department working on this piece of art that I'm talking about.
Fun fact: a few days ago, I saw an ad for Peacock saying, "Guess what? All 8 Harry Potter films are coming to Peacock again." I'm like, "What do you mean again?"
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I know you said that those are two different things, but it's really not. The artists can be making the thing, but it's not up to them where it goes.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's true.
It is the streaming service that goes, no, it's a podcast only on our streaming service.
That's what I mean. Like it seems I just don't think it's gonna be a podcast that's gonna have a blank screen. Like that just doesn't seem like something you put money into. It just seems like what's the point?
It could just be like the title card or something.
Anyway, so the rest of the cast includes Rosario Dawson, Seth Meyers, Jason Sudeikis, Alan Tudyk, Chris Parnell, Melissa Villaseñor.
Villaseñor.
These are all SNL people.
Kenan Thompson, Heidi Gardner, Brooke Shields, Tim Meadows, Fred Armisen, Brent Spiner.
Yeah, literally half of that is SNL.
Doing another Harley Quinn.
John Leguizamo, Ike Barinholtz, Bobby Moynihan, Paul Scheer, Ray Weiss, Ben Rogers, Katie Rich, Pete Schultz, Paul Pell, Toby Huss, and Mick Nicholas will also be on the show as a voice. All undisclosed. We don't know who they're playing.
This sounds exactly like that Harley Quinn thing when all those characters got announced. Like, these are all going to be playing Batman characters or the side villains. Like, these are literally all people who work on SNL or have been on SNL. So it's like.
You think Alan Tudyk is going to be like Clayface again in this new show?
Or Doctor, or like half the characters that he plays in that show?
Yeah.
Maybe. Honestly, probably.
Could be.
Yeah.
Who's the guy? Okay. Refresh my memory. Who's the guy who voices Bane and Harley Quinn?
Not Alan Tudyk.
Okay.
All right. We all like anime, so get ready for Dante. Crunchyroll has partnered with Idris and Sabrina Elba to develop a new animated series for Crunchyroll.
Based off Devil May Cry?
No.
Oh, okay.
I know. Number 2.
Afro-futuristic sci-fi fiction series that is set in a city where this rise of biotechnology has created an ever-widening gap between the haves and have-nots. 2 rising stars from either side of this divide are pitted against each other in a story that will ultimately explore equality and kinship within a corrupt society.
Sounds dope to me.
Yeah.
What you said about like Afro sci-fi? What was that?
Afro-futuristic science fiction. That's what the quote says.
Cool. I'm into it. All right.
Afrofuture has been a long, like, burgeoning genre, specifically in books, but it is definitely spilling over. When we talked about the Disney investor meeting, they talked about that cartoon show. That's very Afrofuture. So
gotcha.
That genre is coming up. Let me tell you.
I love it.
For a second, I thought you guys were going to say something like Afro Samurai. I'm like, ooh, I heard about that anime. I need to watch it.
Yeah, Sam Jackson's on that show.
Yeah, he is.
Can someone explain the GameStop thing real quick?
We don't have the time. Also, this was like 2 weeks ago if we were going to talk about this.
No, this happened this week.
It did. It happened this week.
It's happening in the last couple of weeks, but yeah.
You mean that people are making movies about it, not the
movies. I just wanted a quick background of the GameStop stocks.
Rich people are mad that poor people are getting stocks. They don't think we should have stocks.
Even more specifically, rich people got mad because Reddit discovered that they could buy troll stocks and piss off Wall Street.
So I didn't know you were talking about a movie. They're making a movie about this. This literally happened 2 weeks ago.
Already?
Multiple projects have already been.
This literally happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. So the news, real quick, Ben. Real quickly, the news is, before we get too far into it, is that there are 2 movies, a TV series and a documentary being developed based around this event that has just happened.
I'll take a documentary, sure.
I will take a documentary.
So it's the Antisocial Network, which is the first movie will be called, is the MGM movie they bought a book proposal. So not a published book about this. They bought a book proposal and they're turning that into a movie.
It's not even written yet. Jesus.
Yeah. This is written by Ben Nesrich, who wrote The Social Network, the movie the book that the movie's based on.
So he's writing something that's called the Anti-Social Network, and he wrote The Social Network.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that movie's great, but like, come on, buddy.
Talk about this is. I feel like this MGM is putting all their eggs in one basket.
It's a bad basket.
MGM 2 weeks ago considered selling most of their IP.
Yeah.
All right. So this book will tell the story of a ragtag group of amateur investors, gamers, and internet trolls who brought Wall Street to its knees. Fun.
A load of shit. Sorry.
Netflix is developing a movie, and they're looking to hire Mark Boal to write the adaptation of the books, with Noah Centineo.
Yeah.
He's in Black Adam. He's already attached to star in this movie.
He's like the big Netflix guy. He's in a bunch of their romantic comedy movies. And stuff.
To All the Boys I've Loved Before is his.
Yeah. I mean, when big things like this happen, like there's always going to be some type of entertainment thing that comes out, but this is so fast and reactionary. It's kind of gross.
Go ahead and keep describing your projects, and then I'll say what I want to say.
To the Moon is the TV series coming from Pinky Promise. It's a fairly new studio. No more information on that one. And then the documentary is being done by Jonah Tullis, who did the documentary Console Wars.
Oh.
Okay. So the only one of these that I think needs to be made is the documentary. Yeah. I still think it's too early to say we need to make the documentary.
This stuff's still happening live right now.
Because it's still happening. We're still going to be seeing the aftermath of it for a while, I imagine. But the only reason why I think the documentary has any merit is because they'll probably at least talk to some people who were affected or part of it or whatever. The movies and the TV series are just a load of shit because all it's going to be is Hollywood trying to be like, look, we're displaying the type of people who they got involved because they were able to get some money and they knew how to stick it to Wall Street. And I'm like, none of you are going to talk to any of the people that did it because the people who were behind it, most of them, the people who were really spearheading it aren't going to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's not how it's going to happen. So you're just going to make this shit up. Who gives a shit?
It's going to be
get out of here.
It's going to be a dramatized like Wolf of Wall Street version of it, where it's not going to highlight the people who should be highlighted, and it's going to make maybe heroes of the people who shouldn't be.
I feel like the movie or maybe the TV show or what have you, they're going to vilify the wrong people, or they're going to.
Nothing is more pathetic than how thirsty they are to make fictional properties off of this moment, and I'm like, that just feels so soulless and stupid. The documentary, at least on some level, I understand because it is a big look. There should be even more of a spotlight. We should analyze that. We should have a conversation about it because basically what happened is most of the people who live, the 99%, finally realized that guess what? The game truly is rigged because the core of what happened is that when people started trying to get in on the GameStop thing so that all the poor people could be making money off of it, the Robinhood app, which is the app that they said, this is for all of the lower class to be able to do stocks.
It's called Robinhood, you guys.
Shut them out so that the share traders could keep doing their trading and they could make their money, and so that the poor people couldn't make money off of it anymore.
They
literally shut them out.
They were also selling people's shares without their consent.
They did.
Under shitty like laws that like once you sign the Robinhood.
So
thing.
Yes, we absolutely should have a conversation and a documentary analysis of the fact that everyone figured out that the game is absolutely rigged.
Stocks
Everyone saw that it was happening and that it's bullshit. And when we actually do what they tell us to do, they take it away. That should happen. But the movies and the TV shows are stupid.
Not only that, I still keep seeing freaking ads for Robinhood while I'm trying to watch my YouTube videos, and I'm like, no, get out of here! You're all freaking liars.
They are trying to fix their PR so much.
It's ruined.
A week after the GameStop stuff started, the Dogecoin thing started, and when Doge, when that was happening on Twitter, everyone was responding to it and asking, how can I get in on this? How can I do anything about it? And Robinhood was finding those tweets and saying, come do it here, even though it literally wasn't on the app at the time.
They're bad people. Money ruins people's lives. I'm just saying.
Money's fake anyway.
Just give me more. Exactly. Everything's fake.
The Dogecoin is apparently up 8 cents right now.
Wow. It's too early to think that you're going to make anything solid out of a movie or TV series about this. And it's stupid.
And it's going to be all dramatized and fake anyway.
Like I agree with you, Sparks. The only thing that should be maybe in start, like seriously think about is a documentary. Because but other than that, like let's do a TV show. No.
This is the ridiculous part of the podcast, by the way. That was the first with the ridiculous news. Second one is that, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but the Buck Rogers estate is really upset that Legendary is making a TV series.
Don't they have the rights to it?
Yes. So Legendary claims. However, so here's the news. the Buck Rogers estate, the people who own the Buck Rogers license,
Jonathan Buck,
from the creators, they sent a cease and desist letter to Legendary, and they are moving forward with their own film adaptation.
Why is licensing so messy?
Apparently, Legendary thinks that. Sorry, Witch Historian did send a comment about our GameStop discussion, saying, "Well, it's too late. Congress, on a bipartisan basis, is already planning to have hearing about it. Robinhood effed up, obviously.
Good, yeah, accountability.
Yeah,
all right.
Just like the Buck Rogers Foundations or whatever.
So the Buck Rogers estate does not claims that they did not purchase the licensing, but Legendary says they did. So there you go. There's 2 Buck Rogers projects apparently in the works.
This is like just one of those dumb lawyer situations where like just like a missing signature on something or something. Like how does this happen? Like, come on, like you hire Brian K. Vaughan to write it.
Yeah. Real quickly, Witch Historian says licensing is messy directly because of Disney. That is true. Buck Rogers would actually be in the public domain if it wasn't for Disney.
Buck Rogers.
Mickey Mouse too.
No, Mickey Mouse is the reason why it's not. Why that is the case. Why it's Disney.
Damn copyright laws, man.
George Clooney was attached to this thing, right? That was the last news.
George Clooney is doing the TV series for Legendary.
I'm imagining George Clooney walks out of his like $1 million mansion and gets a cease and desist letter from Buck Rogers and goes, "All right, bye." He's like, "Whatever, movie's out, done." Because like this is one of the million properties that Hollywood is working on at one time. Yeah. So who knows how far it was actually going to happen?
The Buck Rogers. I mean, the Buck Rogers estate specifically, I get Legendary, but the Buck Rogers estate has a generous opinion of Buck Rogers' viability as a franchise in the 21st century.
Yeah, I mean, of course you can always like revitalize things and make them cool again, but like,
hey man,
Buck Rogers,
Star Wars is still cool.
Yeah, but Buck Rogers ain't Star Wars anymore.
I'm sorry. The only reason why I know about Buck Rogers in the first place is because I watched Duck Dodgers on Looney Tunes.
Same.
Yeah. All right. Now
the revival.
Duck Dodgers?
Yeah, just get if they take Buck Rogers from it, someone show George Clooney Duck Dodgers and get him involved.
Oh yeah.
All right. We have a lot of people watching the stream, by the way. We got 6 people watching this. That's crazy.
Ooh, spicy.
A baker's dozen.
Never had that many people watch before.
They're all gonna leave right now. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Wait, we got their views. I don't care. All right. Oh, the Uno movie.
What? Excuse me?
The Uno movie. You know the card game Uno?
No, I got it.
Rapper Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty?
Lil Yachty. What did I say? What did I say?
Star Wars character. This is Lil Yachty.
Oh man. Sometimes I don't even know what comes out of my mouth.
It's okay.
So I didn't know Brandon doesn't listen to rap.
I don't. No way. Okay, well, anyway, rapper Lil Yachty is producing a film based on the card game for Mattel. Okay. Described as an action heist comedy set in the underground hip-hop world of Atlanta.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's just dumb enough where I don't know Lil Yachty's screenwriting, producing credits. Like, I don't know how involved he is in making movies. He's a fine lyricist, but sure. Whatever. Like, again, like, yo, man.
The Uno movie.
Murderous Uno game in Atlanta, like, who knows? It could be game night. Like,
I just don't understand, like, we really got to the point where I just said an Uno movie is in development. That's where we're at now.
Man, after
I can't wait to see how Skip is used.
Oh my god. What if it's like a sci-fi, like multi-dimensional, like your worst life? Like, oh man. Hey, listen, like the idea is just silly enough where I'm into it. Where it's not just an Uno game. It's like an action adventure crazy thing. So like, Jumanji or something. Who knows?
You know what? More than anything, this reminds me of the new Space Jam.
Mm.
Because like all the people who are being attached to it, and then speaking of, this also is connected to the Barney movie that Daniel Kaluuya is doing.
Oh wow!
For Mattel.
Jeez Louise, it's gonna be shared.
Go around. I thought that show died.
I mean, they can get better projects, right? This isn't like Daniel Kaluuya had to pick, and he picked Barney,
I think
right?
It was just like a boring Tuesday night, and going, what's with this one? And then maybe like they got picked up, and it's never getting touched again.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, but if you don't have an Uno movie in the style of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm out.
No, you just make a Yu-Gi-Oh movie.
Heart of the cards.
Yeah.
Blue.
God.
All
7. God, no.
All right.
Trailers. Blue 7. All I have are greens. No.
All right, trailers.
T-Talk.
Here we go. We'll start with Justice Society World War II, the next DC animated movie, set in that continuity. The continuity started with Man of Tomorrow. What do you think of that one?
I didn't love it. I didn't love the look of it. I don't know what it is. It just something's off for me. I'm not sure what it is. Voice acting seems fine. It's just like it feels like the character models for me don't match like the environments. Like they're very poppy to me. Like it almost stands out. Like I don't know. That's just me. Maybe the movie will look better. I thought it looked weird.
It's the same animation style from Man of Tomorrow, and I really liked it in Man of Tomorrow. And to be fair, I liked it in this too. I do like this animation style a lot.
No, this is a me thing.
Yeah. Sparks, what do you think of this one?
I like it. I was telling Ryan I think it looks a lot like Venture Brothers animation, which I'm not against.
I like Venture Brothers looks way better.
Maybe in like its last 2 seasons, but I mean like I'm thinking like season 5 and earlier. It looks,
so from like 2004, cool.
It's a low budget, straight to DVD DC anime movie. I'm not surprised. Those seasons still look fine.
Yeah.
I think this looks fine. I think when this is in motion, it looks good. I think the talking looks funky, but I wonder if I need to just chalk that up more to the trailer that I'm seeing animation moments that aren't what they're saying. But the talking didn't look good most of the time.
The movement for me is one of the things I like about this. It's not as stiff as the original DC animated movies were. The ones from the past continuity that we did, way more fluid. Like you see, like Jay Garrett is kind of like jiving a bit, and I'm kind of into that.
Yeah, the talking throws me. So I hope that that's just a trailer thing.
I have a theory that this is where Barry Allen came out of after Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Oh yeah.
Oh sure,
that makes sense.
So it's the same Barry Allen, essentially, that we just saw erase that timeline.
And he's like, I'm not just from the future. I'm from a different future.
Yeah, exactly.
The point of that.
I'm also just really excited to see the Justice Society in a movie. I love them. I think all the characters look a lot of fun.
Me too. That's actually one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to this one quite a bit, is because we don't really get to see the Justice Society a whole lot. Like,
I hope we see Alan Scott, but he's not in the trailer. That kind of worries me.
Yeah, we see. That's the other guy. That wasn't Nabu. That was Our Man. We saw, right?
It was Our Man. Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
Fate's
because we see Wonder Woman, Our Man, not Dr. Fate. No, Dr. Fate.
Our Man.
Yeah, I said Wonder Woman, Our Man,
Hawkman.
The Flash, Hawkman. Thank you. And that's pretty much it, right?
Black Canary.
Black Canary, thank you.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, I love the Justice Society. I'm like, yeah, give me more Justice Society, please.
Yeah, but is Shazam in it?
Oh man, I'm so glad that's not real.
Oh, you're talking about that? Oh, let's not talk about that.
It's not real, thank goodness. But oh my god, was that a day? All right. Pacific Rim. They've been trying to get a Pacific Rim animated series off the ground for a very long time, and they finally did it. With Pacific Rim The Black coming March 4th.
Man, I wish they'd finish it. The kaiju watching on the big screen, the kaiju looked good.
I like the designs of the kaiju.
The kaiju and the Jaegers look good. I still think the human movement looks just bad.
This is exactly what I go back to what I was saying about Promised Neverland. 3D CG animation can look pretty good with creatures. It can look pretty good with creatures, and it can look pretty good with vehicles. But environments and characters don't look good in this animation most of the time. And this is another example where I'm just sitting here and I'm like, damn Netflix animes with their stupid 3D CGI that looks just like crap, just like absolute crap on characters,
cheap,
and I hate it.
It's cheap and easy. And put more money in.
This is the same animation studio who put out the Godzilla Earth trilogy for Netflix.
And Knights of Sidonia.
I
watched the first episode of that when it came out, and I couldn't do it.
I don't love the look of the characters, but I like Pacific Rim enough. I'll watch it.
Same.
Yeah, I kind of had this moment where I was watching this, and I like that it looks better than the Godzilla Earth trilogy, and the fact that there's more imagination in the designs, and there's more color. So I appreciated that like hell. And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna give Pacific Rim Uprising another watch. I think that deserves it.
Get it on to the time. Get it on. Come to the light.
I mean, I liked it. I just was disappointed because I've talked about it before. I didn't see the passion that I saw in the first film and the second film. But Pacific Rim: The Black, honestly, look, I like the Pacific Rim franchise enough that I'll give it a watch.
I'll give it a shot.
What country are we in?
Australia.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was wondering, I was like, where
Striker Eureka is from?
Do we know the time period at all?
No.
Okay.
Is it right after the war, or is it during the war?
It looks like it's in the middle of the 10-year in the beginning of Pacific Rim 1.
But things are bad.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, who knows? Yeah, it looks cool. I want to revisit Pacific Rim. Those characters, man.
Yeah. I do like the premise a lot of them like finding like an abandoned Jaeger. I think that idea is cool enough.
Me too.
You get to grow with the characters as they like learn about the Jaeger and stuff themselves. But I
wouldn't even hate the character models so much if they move smoother.
Yeah.
The movement of them
is so like choppy.
Is what really, really bothers me about it.
I joke that the animation wasn't done, but it looks like frames are missing when they move. Like I don't get how this is such a style that's so prevalent in so many shows.
Honestly, it's one of those situations where like if they moved as smooth as a video game cinematic, I'd be like, sure.
Yeah.
It sounds like they recast the computer. No longer is the GLaDOS. It sounds like Cortana.
Oh, I didn't even consider
I wonder if it's
different.
If it's a different one.
Yeah.
Maybe it isn't.
Maybe. Who knows?
All right. Coming to America. A sequel to Coming to America.
Boy, this is the trailer they should have led with. Let me tell you, because I'm now 1,000% in.
Yeah.
After watching this trailer, I'm like, oh, this is a different movie. Great.
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks actually pretty funny, and I'm like, it looks like Eddie Murphy's having a really good time, and I like the whole cast that's there. I thought the whole movie was just going to be him in New York, just being goofy with like all his old friends, and I'm really glad they're going back to the country that they live in, and like it's kind of like almost a fish out of water story for the son and him learning who he is. I'm into this. I'll watch this. Yeah.
Fanny has been wanting to watch this movie really bad, and she really wants me to watch the first one because I've never seen the first one. So she's looking forward to sit me down to watch the first one so we can watch the second one.
Coming to America 1, this is for everybody, is on Amazon Prime right now, celebrating Black History Month. You can watch it. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. It's there.
Beautiful.
All right. The Nevers.
Man, this looks great.
Heck,
this
baby.
looks great.
Give me, this looks like high budget, the show we just watched. The high budget witch show. Or the high budget, Motherland,
Fort Salem.
Yeah.
But period piece.
But yeah, give me more cool lady witch power stuff. Like this looks like awesome. This looks so fun.
Yeah, I'm really into this. Is this the one that Joss Whedon left?
Yes.
Yes.
So there are a lot of people who are still calling it the Joss Whedon show, and the people who are like, please don't do that. He's not a part of the show anymore. Give this a chance for people to watch. He's not part of the show anymore. So yes, Joss is not a part of it. Yes, he did help create it, but he left like halfway through it or whatever. This looks great. This looks cool as hell.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this.
After finishing Bloodborne and watching this trailer, I'm like, okay, no, it's not Bloodborne, but it's giving me a little bit Bloodborne vibes, and I'm into it.
Anytime I get a really good fireball effect, I'm really happy about, because like fireballs are cool, you guys.
Yes, they are.
I see your fireball effect. Let me raise you a Wind Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Evolution, please.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere cooler.
No.
I don't think I can do the rest of the show, guys.
Oh,
I did it.
Evolution.
I win.
I guess what's the story? And asking what we're talking about. The Nevers, I think we just talked
Nevers.
about. Nevers on HBO.
It's a show coming out. Check out the trailer. It's magic. It's period.
I think the witches, Witch Historian. I think you'll like it.
All right, Godzilla. No, Moxie.
Moxie. Amy Poehler. This looks like a cute, charming young adult thing. Yeah.
I really like this. Honestly, I was really into this.
Yeah, I really want to watch it. It looks good.
It's a movie, not a show, right?
It is a movie. Yeah, all about go girls.
Like, my mom was like a dope feminist lady in the 80s, and then like I'm gonna do that now.
Let's stand up for female rights in high school, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I really like the last joke. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh no.
I really like that.
No, one of the things I actually liked from the trailer was that because you see the one girl who's like obviously like the popular one, the one who all the boys want to go after, and she actually joins the group of misfits, or is like, hey, I don't like this either. And I think what I got from the trailer is that she also bands with them. Like, yeah, you go.
They get over the.
I really like where they're talking about like everyone who's part of this puts stars and hearts on them, so we know that you're a supporter. And the guy has it on him, and then they're like, "That is so hot."
Yeah,
that's a cool way to like subvert into a high school form, like that you are part of a movement, and that like, hey, I'm on board with this, and like just do something really simple like that teachers really won't pick up on what you're doing.
Yeah. All right, now Godzilla Singular Point had a second trailer, or should I say? The Jet Jaguar show had a trailer.
Jet Jaguar, I love it. Where's Godzilla? Who cares? We got a big robot man.
We got good looks at Rodan, who I don't like the design of, and Jet Jaguar that I'm kind of into the design of.
You mean because Rodan's just like classic dinosaur?
He looks like Shin Godzilla, ugly monster version of like little Godzilla, but Rodan form. So like I'm into it.
He just looks like a pteranodon.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
I like bigger.
That's what he's supposed to be.
Jet Jaguar has a really cool design that's like different,
a stripped down design. Yeah.
Man, this is like an anime-ass anime.
It is with the characters. It's very anime.
Like the straight up characters. This is who I am, and this is what I'm about. And like Godzilla's not even in the trailer.
So this is another example of again, you're seeing the 3D CG animation, but it's put up with that 2D animation. Vehicles and creatures can look good, but I'm glad that everything else is 2D. The environment is 2D. The characters are 2D. Good.
Yeah,
good.
This looks like pretty unique for a Godzilla thing, or for a kaiju thing. So like I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm never opposed to doing new things with Godzilla. Just don't make him boring as hell.
Yeah. How do you make a design where you're a million years in the future boring? I'm still mad, Brandon. I will never finish the trilogy, no matter how good it could get. I don't care.
No, like for real though, that movie is just aesthetic. Someone was like, "Should I watch the Godzilla trilogy?" And I was like, "Look, it's aesthetically boring as hell, but it's got something to say, and that's kind of cool."
YouTube the good parts.
Okay. The Obituary of Tunde Johnson.
Oh my gosh.
So time loop movie?
Time loop movie. Okay. That's a real sad time loop movie.
Yeah, wild. We didn't watch it. I didn't feel like it was necessarily something we needed to talk about on the podcast, but Amazon Prime has another time loop movie coming out. They released a trailer in this last week. It's called The Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
Ooh, I want to see that.
Yes, with Catherine Noonan in it. If you like time loop movies, go check that trailer out. But like I said, we're not doing it for the podcast. But I did want to mention it because time loop movies seem to never fail.
They're all good.
Yeah, this is great. I love the weird, sad look of this, and the contemplation. I love like obviously this is one of those times where pull quotes is getting me, where it's like this is the kind of like film change we need to move the needle, and I'm like, all right, I'm there.
Yeah. It looks to be like a really like intense like genre piece, while also dealing with like the troubles of our modern era
of racism and hatred towards LGBTQ.
Yeah, like I this is what sci-fi is really good at, is like diving deep into these like really heady topics, and almost getting like kind of like a pass because it's like sci-fi. It gets to do stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm really this took me a surprise. I'm like, oh shit, this looks dope. Like Oscar, like a sci-fi Oscar movie. Like, please.
This movie I feel like this movie is going to eventually push the needle towards people having a hard conversation. And I feel like some people are like, oh, I don't want to watch that. It's like, well, why not? Because it's going to lead to having a difficult conversation. Good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like that. I like that we have the obituary to Nate Johnson and Moxie and the same thing, because I think both those films need to be seen, need to be made to show people the perspectives that they're not seeing.
Absolutely.
Promising Young Woman, that one too.
All right. Cosmic Sin. Let's watch Bruce Willis sleepwalk through another movie.
So the second I saw Frank Grillo pop up, who is Crossbones in the Captain America movies, he and Bruce Willis have made at least 4 or 5 movies together now over the last couple of years. There is a production company that somehow has a tie on Bruce Willis. I don't know if they have his like kids kidnapped or something, but Bruce Willis puts out like a movie or 2 a year with Frank Grillo and the straight to DVD, and they're all called like Ambush or Trespass or Murder Man, and it's just Bruce Willis is in the movie for like 7 minutes.
I don't think you misspoke. I think maybe he might be a clone. He is Bruce Willis.
Oh, no.
I think that they just have a
Bruce
clone
Willis.
that they're bringing out, and Bruce Willis just doesn't care enough to fight it.
Yeah.
He gets the residuals.
Yeah.
Real quickly, Witch Historian says sci-fi and fantasy are excellent at representing different perspectives. Yes, they are.
100%. Yeah, this movie's trailer is terrible. I don't know what the plot of this movie is supposed to be.
It's all the Avengers movies in one, because there's an invading army. And like it's coming through a portal. Movie. There's a Guardian. Yeah. There's, man, I don't think Bruce Willis. So again, he's in this movie. I do not think he's the star of this movie, because every one of these movies has him in the trailers and he's never the star of it. I watched there's this one video YouTuber and he's like, I review all the Bruce Willis movies from the past 5 years. He's in the movie literally 2 minutes in every single one of these movies, and he's the star.
They got him.
Look, it will be impressive if this movie does all those scenes that he's in, because there's so many different like avenues and things. In 2 minutes, I will be like, damn.
I'm just saying, I've seen bad trailers before and they've done it. Like maybe he's in it a lot, but like this is that production company that shits out movies like Asylum does.
I wonder how they got him into a costume, because normally he just walks on the set with whatever he's wearing.
Yeah.
All right.
Cosmic Sin, what a name.
It looked really bad.
Yeah.
Devil May Care. The Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, this is the sci-fi animation.
This looks like an Adult Swim show.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks like another adult animated show. It looks fine.
Nothing drew me to it, I'll be honest.
Alan Tudyk again.
It's like Adult Swim. It's like Adult Swim / Comedy Central when they were trying to do something like Ugly Americans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It looks like fine. Whatever.
I know it's not copying the Rick and Morty style, but it feels like it's trying to be the Rick and Morty style, and I'm like, Alan
Tudyk's hard working though, let me tell you.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk is great. There is nothing in this show that made me go, yeah, I want to watch this.
No, I just mean like he's in like 9 of the trailers we're talking about today.
Yeah, he's busy.
He's so busy.
I thought this looked terrible, honestly. Shook, new Shudder original. You guys gotta tell me if I could take this one out.
Oh, I mean, I would.
We already sat down and watched it, so I figured we were going to talk about it. So
yeah.
And it looks like a Shudder horror movie about teenagers and a computer.
Looks like something I could have made, and that's cool.
It looks like a. No, that's probably too mean. Because what's that one movie, Unfriended?
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the one of the Zoom movies, but it's not as good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a worse version of that, but I feel like this Shook has a little bit more production behind it, but I don't know.
If they were to call it #Shook, I probably would care more. I'm just saying.
Do you know if this was filmed during the pandemic?
No, I don't.
Okay, because it kind of has that vibe.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I think it was.
I wouldn't be shook.
Jesus.
Sorry.
All right.
I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh look, it's another Unfriended. All right.
The Japanese are remaking Cube.
Guys, so
that's wild.
Cube is a movie that we did on Downright Annoyed several months ago. Cube is an excellent, incredibly low budget horror movie. That was made like for $100,000, but like looks like $1 million movie. Like it's insane. It's literally just a character study about people and how they deal with trauma and stress in like an enclosed space. It's really weird that it's getting a remake literally like 25 years later, but like it looks like that movie. And if it's just like another version of that movie with good character studies, then sure, why not? It's just weird. It seems weird. That movie's watch Cube. Watch the original Cube. It's great.
Well, it's interesting because we're not remaking it. A different country is remaking this movie.
Yeah. Which does happen. It's just usually we steal. Usually we're stolen from, which is interesting for us.
Let me in. Girl with the dragon tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I like one of those movies.
Internal Affairs and the Scorsese movie.
I don't know if it's quite the same if we're making it off of a book. as far as Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, Cube is just a movie.
Mag says Cube is worth it.
Yeah, good job, Mag.
All right. Wait, which historian says something that I missed? Should we be upset about a safe movie production?
No,
maybe.
That's probably Shook.
Yeah.
It was about Shook.
Tom Cruise is on that set with his robots.
If Shook was filmed in Corn during the pandemic, the reason it would make sense is because it looked like it was just like a few people kind of like doing it indie in their home.
Indie style, yeah.
That's why I feel like it might have been.
All right, Marvel's Behind the Mask.
Yeah, this looks great. I'm just happy. I don't know if I'll watch it, to be honest, but like I'm just happy that there's more comic book stuff going on Disney Plus. Like they're actually whether even if it is the Dan Slott who is on that one episode. What was the show? Legends? What was
Marvel
it?
616.
Yes, thank you. 616. Even if it's him, they're spotlighting comic books, which is like what I want them to do.
I think the main reason I'll probably end up watching this at some point is because I definitely want to watch them talk about the effect Black Panther had on Black audiences, and also that they have the interview with the guy who's like, I didn't realize I was the first African American writer.
I think it was Christopher
modern
Priest.
Comics. Yeah. I want to see those parts of it for sure. So I think it's really great that they're having those conversations spotlighted in it specifically.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm down to watch this. It's just I haven't watched Marvel 616 on Disney Plus yet, and I haven't touched.
Well,
Legends,
then you won't understand Marvel's. What's it called?
Continuity.
You gotta watch one before the other.
There's just a bunch of stuff on Disney Plus. I know I just finished DuckTales, but still, it's one of the things like cool, something to watch. Sure. Don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I will get to it eventually.
But I feel like this one's a little easier than the 616 because 616 is a bunch of episodes. This is one documentary film.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. And finally, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which came out with a release date of March.
Well, let me tell you guys,
14th.
Ryan he didn't like it. It's no good.
May 14th.
You guys. So Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time. The Mass Effect trilogy is my second favorite franchise next to Metal Gear. Metal Gear has more consistently good games, I think, but Mass Effect 2 is I think the best sci-fi RPG maybe ever made. I think the Mass Effect franchise is the best modern sci-fi franchise in video game history. It has the best world building. It has the best characters. Everything seems so fleshed out. That is a company at the top of their game when like all the writers know exactly what they're doing. All the creative team knows exactly what they're doing. Like they had a vision. And like we've been waiting for this for a long time. It's been rumored for literal years. It's been my Christmas list for like 2 or 3 years, right? I am so stoked. It's kind of weird that it's not coming to PS5. It's interesting that it is going to be like a PS4, Xbox One game.
Because you can still play it on
you can still play, but I mean, like that means it's not the highest fidelity that it could possibly be, which again is fine.
Probably just spent so many years doing it
exactly.
that they just didn't build it for that hardware.
And I'm sure
because
the pandemic too.
They probably also just feel better about like, let's not charge people the PS5, Xbox Series X prices for a game that we know is like, upscale it from the PlayStation 4 version because that's really all it is.
Yeah. The PS3 version.
Yeah. No. I mean, like,
sorry.
Put the PS4 version into your PS5, that's all you'd be getting. Don't sell them it and say it's a PS5 copy because that's not what it is.
No, I guess you're right. Oh my God. Please put that in question.
Which historian says Caden or Ashley?
Oh my God, Wish Historian. This is my favorite video game memory of all time. Let me tell you why. So I'm not going to spoil all of the thing in Mass Effect 1, but Ashley is a space racist. She doesn't like aliens. And there's a confrontation between two of your party members in Mass Effect 1, and my charisma wasn't high enough to stop her from killing one of the aliens on my squad. And he is a fan favorite character, so that character was missing in Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 because that is one of the only game franchises where your saves and your choices carry on to the next game. So that entire franchise, I didn't have this fun favorite character and got to miss out on so much shit because the space race has killed her. So fuck Ashley. I hate her. Oh my God. I hate her. I don't know if she gets redeemed in Mass Effect 3 because I never talked to her ever again. And if I did, I was only mean to her because she killed my boy. Guys, Mass Effect's so good. The great thing about that franchise is you make all these choices and those choices carry over to the next game. So things are different and like relationships are different, environments are different. And there are no other game franchises that do that. Like really, what games have you guys played where like your choices carry on to the next game in a meaningful way? They don't do that. Only RPGs do, and it's mostly just BioWare.
What are you talking about? The costume I unlocked in Rise of the Tomb Raider was in Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Damn, you beat me. You sold it. You beat the tater. Man, I'm just so excited, and it's coming in May. So it's not super far away. All the DLC, it has some of the best DLC ever in gaming, like some of the best like cool story stuff that's like hidden in a bunker. Like I would, if we weren't in a pandemic, I would say like Basement Arcade for the all time, but like that's not gonna happen. So like get ready, guys. Greatest sci-fi video games coming back in style. The new gum you like's coming back in style. What's up?
What was that game for the PlayStation 2 that was like heralded to be like this major game that's going to have like it's going to be a trilogy? Kind of looked like a little bit like Avatar.
Too Human?
No, maybe. I don't remember.
Advent Rising?
Oh, maybe Advent Rising because it never got the sequel.
Advent Rising wasn't that an Xbox exclusive?
No, I don't think so. It might have been, but that was a game that had $1 million sweepstakes with it, so that's why I got a lot of critical acclaim.
Witch historian apparently is mad at you that you killed his boyfriend.
Hey, Cadence, I didn't. She did it. I didn't do it.
Event Rising was an Xbox exclusive.
That game had $1 million sweepstakes, like on the box art.
I remember that only because it's the one Xbox game I can't play on any of the next gen systems.
Oh wow, they hated that franchise so much they wouldn't let you play it again.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
So before we recorded, Super Bowl happened, which means that we get some new TV spots. Not many this year.
No, not a lot.
Everything that I was told was a lie.
Well, no, we got the Falcon Winter Soldier.
Well, no, I figured that one. The other ones that I heard, all the rest of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, so, we didn't get the only Marvel thing we got was Falcon Winter Soldier. So let's go into that first.
Yeah.
No, I was actually mad because I had to stream the game because I watched the game, but when I was streaming it, all the like big media spots, like the big media things, I saw like so many trailers for Clarice. I saw stuff for Paramount Plus. I'm like, where's the like some of the commercials?
I hate those Paramount Plus ads.
Oh, you saw those too?
I've been seeing them for weeks. It's been like a campaign. I hate it so much.
I mean, I had to stream
all the characters are going up a mountain or something.
Yeah.
I had to stream the game on CBS All Access, and then I was sitting there like, where the heck am I gonna get the Falcon Winter Soldier trailer? And then it's like, oh wait, probably because I'm streaming it and I'm not watching it on live TV because I don't have a freaking cable box.
Well, anyway, the Falcon Winter Soldier trailer dropped. I loved it. I thought it was excellent.
The song might as well have been "Get It On Till I Die" because that's what I felt when I was watching it. This definitely looks like your more traditional Marvel movie stuff, but it's two great dudes who don't like each other having to work together. It looks great. Sharon Carter's finally getting some actual shit to do. Oh my god, she looks great. Zemo's back.
We're dealing with we know this from like the behind the scenes stuff, but apparently we're dealing with the Sokovia Accords a bit in this show.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it looks like Zemo's in Sokovia doing stuff.
I love Zemo's line of "I will not let my work go unfinished."
Yeah. The action looks really good. Like this is obviously like they put the money behind it.
If you told me this was a movie, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we're gonna like explore a lot more about state of the world post Endgame. Yeah.
There's a new Captain America, U.S. agent. Like, well, I'm really curious what they're gonna do with him. Are they gonna make him the villain? Is he gonna actually end up being like a good guy? Like it's there's a lot of avenues that can go. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I will say I don't think the comedy at the very end worked for me, but I think that's because the weird editing and stuff of the trailer with like doing the staring contest. But I thought it was still charming, but like I didn't like laugh or anything.
More than not, I think their chemistry works really well, and the trailers get that off well.
Yeah.
All right. The rest are 30-second spots. That was a full minute and a half. This was the rest of 30 seconds. Nobody.
This looks like an entirely different movie than the trailer we last watched.
Christopher Lloyd's in this.
Yeah, what? Is his dad?
I don't know.
Again, it's weird because that first trailer, it's like he's out of the game and he's getting dragged back into it. Where this, it's like, no, I'm a badass and a mother effer, and I'm hanging out with my family.
It's like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing.
It's a Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing, and it's like a completely different tone to that last trailer. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're trying to remarket this movie in a way, or it's just this is decidedly the way they wanted to go. If this was the first trailer I saw for this, I'd probably be more excited. But like, I know what the movie is, so I'm like, why'd you go this way? It's weird.
Well, I'm still excited because I think this movie looks awesome.
Yeah, I like Odenkirk a lot.
It says in theaters April, and I'm like, well, you're ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
No, they can still put it in theaters.
Some theaters, yeah.
Put on VOD.
VOD.
F9, which I'm still calling F9 the Fast Saga.
That's what they're calling it.
I said to him during it, and I was like, man, I miss this. I miss cars going sideways into cars in other buildings.
So excited about the shot of Helen Mirren driving.
Yeah, she giving a little giggle. I'm like, ooh, spicy. Yo, man, evil Dom's brother. Like, come on, give it to me. John Cena's great.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
Did everybody notice the empty chair at the table next to Paul Walker's wife?
No.
When they're in the early beginning, Dom's coming up to the table. She's sitting there. There's an empty chair next to her with a Corona bottle. I'm like, how are we getting around that one, guys?
Oh no.
Where's Brian? Oh, he had to go.
Yeah, he's busy. FBI stuff or whatever.
Is that because she's clearly in this movie because she's in another shot in a car, and I'm like, what are we doing, guys?
Oh,
where's Brian?
She has to be involved because it's her brother.
No, I get it. It's just it's good that. Man, it's just weird. That's such a hard thing to have to work around.
Han's just in the shot like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Look, I was disappointed in disappointed. I have a really good time in those movies, but they're not exactly what I came to the Fast and Furious franchise. This looks kind of more like a meet me in the middle type thing, so I'm excited.
Right on.
All right. Old looks terrible.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I thought it looked awful.
Yeah, looks like. Well, first of all, it's a 30-second trailer, so it literally gives you not enough information. But like it's an M. Night Shyamalan premise, so like it's about people getting old.
Based on a comic book.
Oh, while we were watching it, all I could think was, I really wish this isn't how you showed me anything from this movie for the first time.
Yeah,
I really wish you just showed me a trailer and took your time to set this up for me, because this is just this. This isn't a good 30 spot to get me on board with this concept.
Yeah.
Okay, I will agree with that then. Yes. For the first time showing a movie, you kind of just spoil what it is kind of a bummer. So I will agree with that. Yes.
Well, and it's throwing so many visuals at you that like you can't connect anything to.
Well, I think that's again why it is a bad teaser, but like this is what the movie's going to be.
Yeah. I'm not harping on. I don't necessarily think that means the movie is bad or anything. Like, I'm not against the concept or anything like that. I'm just like, this is not the way I would have chosen to know about this.
Yeah, I'd rather just get like a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah.
And finally, we got our next look at Raya and the Last Dragon. A little 30-second TV spot.
Raya
and the Last Dragon. Thank you.
You just watched the trailer. You got just a little more footage. That looks great.
Her big guy is Tuk Tuk.
Oh yeah,
that's his name.
armadillo
his
guy.
Name is Tuk Tuk. I like it
because he tucks. It's cute.
Did you guys see the Japanese trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, where Godzilla bitch slaps Kong?
I only saw the image of him slapping Kong.
I've seen the GIF for sure, and like, oh, is this your king?
I love that. Just whooping.
Yeah.
All right, that's it though. So we're gonna get into our main topic, unless you guys want to bring up anything else.
Yeah, we're only like 2 hours something in, but so you guys catch the game?
Who won? No, that's comedy timing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Perfect. Great. What are we talking about?
No, really. Right. Who won?
Oh no!
All right.
No, he's on a different team now.
Okay, so we are talking about Netflix's new original movie, Space Sweepers. So full spoilers from here on out for the new Netflix original Space Sweepers. Came out on Friday. So if you have not seen it, I recommend not watching the rest of this. Come back in like an hour for like the book club. But, your choice. What do we think of this one?
I'm going to go first. I think the creativity behind it and the imagination is sensational, and I loved looking at the movie. I think it's 30 minutes too long, and I'm really, really confused on what was actually happening, but I liked it.
I pretty much echo a lot of what Ryan said. I think that the concepts are really cool. I think the beginning and the ending are solid, but definitely there's like that middle needs to get trimmed down. And I have 3 specific things that I'm very confused about, but that's okay.
Ben?
I love this movie, but I do agree it needs to be trimmed down quite a bit, because when I watched it before the football game, and I was like, damn, this is when I was reaching to a point, I was like, okay, now we're reaching in. I hit pause for something, and I was like, oh, I got an hour left. I felt like I sat through this movie for 2 hours already, but nope, I still got more to go through. Amazing ideas. I love the characters in this movie, but yeah, it does have some pacing problems. I will admit that.
I really adored it. I had a blast.
I did too.
I have no issues.
I mean, that's fine. Did you guys watch the dub?
No, I watched it subtitled. But there was enough. Okay, so I watched it subtitled, and then
wait, real quick. You specifically went and switched it to Korean?
Like when the main actor, like when the crewmates of the Victory were speaking Korean, that's what I was showing. I didn't change anything. I didn't go in and make sure everything was in English. It was like they were speaking Korean, but you would have some characters in there who were speaking in English and sometimes French, and so that's how I was watching it.
Ben, if you just hit play on the movie, it plays the English dub. Did you go in and change it to Korean?
Oh, no, I did not.
Okay, then you watched the dub.
Oh, shit.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. We also watched the dub. Brandon, did you watch the dub?
Probably.
Okay.
The only thing I changed was my subtitle settings.
I wish that I understand why we picked the dub. We picked the dub because we were eating dinner, and none of us like trying to eat and read the subtitles on the movie at the same time. It's kind of hard. So we started in that about 45 minutes, and I was like, man, I really wish I was watching them and actually speaking Korean.
Yeah.
When they're speaking. But only because I don't think that the dub acting is matching all the time what I'm visually seeing, and I definitely question if some plot stuff would have made more sense in Korean.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, that's weird because when I was watching it, every time the crewmates of the Victory spoke, I heard Korean. Only the non-Korean actors were speaking different languages.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. So the way I watched it, the Korean is dubbed into English, and then everyone else is speaking other languages.
That's what we saw too.
Yeah, because it's a multi-language film, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And there's a line where like I think it's like a German lady or something. Like she's
supposed to be English because we were watching the dub. They make her German. She's speaking English.
Oh man, we definitely messed up watching
because they wanted you to get the sense that they are not communicating or that bit doesn't work. Yeah. But she's speaking English. If we watch the Korean one, he'd be speaking Korean. She'd be speaking English, saying this translator doesn't work.
That's funny, but I think the idea that like they all use translators and that is a good scene, even it's all kind of messy there for whatever reasons. I think that's a really cool idea, and it makes the film just feel so much bigger because it's not just like one. It's not just one type of people. Like it is a true like diverse cast of everybody.
Yeah, I really want to spotlight that because regardless of what version you watch, the multilingualism of this film is one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
this is how I want space sci-fi future stuff to be, where it's like everybody's got translator things, but you as an audience hear their native language because they're all speaking their native language to each other, and they're just automatically understanding it.
Yeah,
and I think that's great.
Oh yeah.
This movie immediately gets a point up for me by not explaining what an EMP is.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Space Sweepers.
I think the opening, I think it's really a very, very strong opening and like a perfect, like, these are who your characters are. They're a bunch of scumbags. This is what the world is.
The first sequence in the ship when they're getting the junk is so much fun. It's so well shot. I love the CGI in this movie.
For how long the movie is, I really wanted more of that stuff because I really feel like there's so much talking that happens that could have been replaced with really cool world building, or maybe it's just like they already spent so much money because this looks like a really expensive movie, man. Like it's so big in scope. Like I'm really impressed with how it looks. Like it looks like there's a lot of like physical sets and stuff, and I'm like, this looks like they put a lot of effort into it. I think all the CGI is pretty good. Like I really like the what's the robot's companion? Guts. What's his name?
Bubs.
Bubs. I love that guy a lot. That girl a lot. I'm sorry, I don't know. I think that character's cool.
Captain Jung's
cool. Like
you mean my new wife?
Oh yeah, dude. Drinking Captain cool sunglasses that she can do X-ray vision on.
So I want to. I don't know who the voice actor is who's dubbing her over, but like very common voice replacement for Korean or Japanese Asian films. Because I'm like, I know this voice. This is that standard girl voice that I hear a lot in anime or this. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like, man, I really wish I wasn't watching the dub.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to get these out of the way because they're the things bothering me the most. Why was Sullivan getting all veiny? Does anyone know?
He's old.
Okay.
He's being maintained by like technology in his body that we see in his X-ray. So that's like
that's what that was.
Yeah.
Well, they do say in the very beginning he's 152 years old.
154. He was born in 1938.
So if he's old, but him just being old. Okay, so Brandon, that might explain it. I don't know if I missed that part or not, but like him just being old shouldn't just make him be really monstrously veiny, like he's turning into a monster or something.
That's the thing that confused me. Is it felt like every time that he decided to commit violence, it's like it just activated for no reason and then would recede. And I was like, why?
I got the impression that it's like the things that maintain him need to be like maintain themselves, and that's what the X-ray thing is. It's like he's getting repaired.
I don't know. My interpretation.
I could be throwing shit at the wall. So
my interpretation was that when he got angry or stressed, that's when the veins would pop up, and then he would make. I don't know. I mean, my interpretation was whenever he would get angry, or he would have to, or he was like put people in different like really like you have to choose. I don't know. I just like the angrier he got, the more veiny he got, and the more radical he got.
But it wasn't always anger that did it, and like there just wasn't an explanation for why it was happening. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that's fine. I felt like I missed something in a movie that probably could have told me. Is all. Okay. The other thing. God, it's three things. What's the second one? I remember the third one, so I'll say it now. How come the nanobots that are in the big storm thing aren't affected by the hydrogen bomb, but if the girl had been near it, her nanobots would have been affected?
But she doesn't have the indestructible nanobots.
Oh, okay.
They say there's two types of nanobots. There's the regular nanobots and the indestructible nanobots. They say that in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that is true.
It's stupid, but they say it.
Yeah. I really like the central premise of them like finding this girl and then like discovering they all have hearts of gold. Like it's Guardians of the Galaxy in a way, but with trash men. Like I think that's.
I got some major Outlaw Star vibes, and I praise Outlaw Star a lot because I think it's an underlooked anime from the same era that Cowboy Bebop came out in. And so I really like that trope of that crew and that Cowboy Bebop type thing. I liked all the crew. What was I actually going to say though? Oh, the ending when they did the fake out that the girl wasn't actually on the ship. I was like, oh shit! Like I had a moment.
The beginning and end I have no problems with at all.
Yeah, I thought that was really great. What was the goal of finding his daughter?
He just
to put her on Earth and make trees grow.
No. I think Sparks is asking about
his daughter, the pilot's daughter.
The pilot's daughter.
Oh, the pilot's daughter. Closure.
I was guessing it was like I don't know.
That was not clear. That bothered me throughout the film because I'm like, and again, like I wonder if it's a dub problem. But for me, I was just like, why? I feel like they're talking about her like he's gonna find her and she's alive, and I'm like, she's been in space, like she's orbiting the Earth. She's dead. Why are we willing to sacrifice so much to find the body of your daughter? Like I get it, she's daughter, but she's dead. Like at a certain point, I feel like we're sacrificing too much, especially the beat where he is gonna initially take the money to go find her body, but it's like, yeah, but that other like alive girl who is a real person now, just got taken, and I'm like, why are we working so hard to find a dead body?
Part of me wants to say I would say Brandon, like for Brandon's thing, he wants closure, and also he wants to maybe give her something of a proper burial instead of just floating in space aimlessly amongst the debris. I mean, I don't know. You're absolutely right.
So tell us that then.
So that motivation was unclear, and also that motivation in the context of the things he does in the film doesn't work for me.
No, I mean, I know I just defended the movie, but I do agree because even as I was watching it, I just thought, okay, this guy just really wants to find his daughter, but then I was like, but wait, she's gone, she's dead, she's floating in space in a vacuum. There's no way she's alive, unless there's like nanobots that could put her alive. I don't know, but. You're right. It is a little unclear. It is a little like, why are you trying so hard to find her?
I did wonder while I was watching the movie, I did wonder that it does feel like this like extraction thing was like, if you find her quick enough, we can bring her back, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like they're racing against time for it.
That was the weird thing. I'm like, why are we talking about her? Like, if you find her, she'll be saved. I don't get it. That I didn't think was handled great. And it did bother me when we get to later in the film where again, like, it's challenging his idea of like, I understand why he's more like, whatever, screw the girl, whatever, when he thinks she's not a human being. But once he realizes she's a human being, that changes something in him, and that's clear. But then he's also still like, I just watched her dad get killed and she got taken away, but you're right, I still got to find the floating around dead body of my daughter from 3 years ago. That's more important than what just happened. That didn't jive with me. Great.
I feel like that entire subplot is cut it out. Just cut it out.
No, I like him having an emotional motivation of something that he's working for, something that I love the whole concept of him having been the top dog of the Space Guard officers. Yeah. And then he realized like, oh, this girl, I can't let her die. And then, oh no, I'm the reason that she can't hear. I need to stop killing. And he ends up leaving, and he did all that for her. And now she's lost. And that's very like, that is good motivation and sadness and all those. I mean, I guess
you can keep all that motivation, but drop all the stuff after that.
Just make it clear that like he's just obsessed with the idea of recovering her body. At least make that much clear to me, and I can at least accept it. But again, like that specific plot point where he's willing to put finding her dead body over the living girl, I go, nah.
This is one of those cases where like I thought like when this was announced this was a show, and I feel like this is like a show's worth of content trying to like kind of crammed into a movie. And even then at two almost like 2 hours and 15 minutes, like it's still missing a lot. Like I think I might have fell asleep for like 6 minutes, maybe. But I definitely kind of zoned out near the end, except for when the action was happening, because I found it kind of convoluted and not very compelling in a lot of ways until cool robot mech people showed up. That's always cool. Those guys look rad. I thought they were really cool. Everything conceptually behind the designs I really liked, but I really wonder if it was the dub that threw it off. I really wonder.
Well, perhaps
it had a weird energy because of the dub.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I watched the same dub, but I found all the characters very compelling, and I really liked the setup and payoff of certain things. For example, the axe cutting off hands. I really liked that scene.
Oh, I like all the characters. Yeah, all the characters are cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand that like it sounds negative. I'm not really that negative. I don't think that the energy for the dub in general, specifically the middle section, clicked for me.
Yeah.
And I probably would have clicked better with the just hearing them actually speaking correctly. I don't think certain emotional beats connected with what I was visually seeing. It's very hard to do the dismissiveness that is visually present in Koreans, but still have something emotionally behind it in a voice.
Oh, yeah.
When you are dubbing it, than it is to just have the language do that. And then be reading it to translate it. That doesn't always work well. And the pilot is the character who suffers the most from that. And that's a dub problem. That's not a movie or an actor problem. And that's kind of where I gel with it. But like, it sounds like I have issues. Like I'm confused about certain concepts or I don't think that they clicked very well. And I do think the movie's too long for its own good, or needed to do something else with that middle to keep it more engaged. Like once we meet up with the Fox people, Black Fox people, I don't feel like that group needed the plot motivation to separate. I feel like we could have gone from that beat to them getting with the doctor beat to the Space Guard stopping them and killing everyone and killing the doctor and taking the girl beat, and we didn't need the in-between stuff there.
Did you guys like the bad guy?
Richard Armitage?
Is that Richard Armitage? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Richard. That's Dwarf Man as the 100-year-old man.
I thought he looked familiar. I did not recognize him.
I thought he was okay.
Oh, I really liked him. I thought he brought a lot of fun energy to it.
Yeah.
At first I was like, it's weird because I was like, okay, are you really the bad guy? And then I was like, okay, maybe Black Fox is the bad guy. And I knew
he was the bad guy from the second I saw him.
Outside of being confused about his vein stuff,
yeah,
I thought he was good. I liked his obsession with his two-faced nature of the bit where he has the journalist guy and he's like, shoot him, and he's like, see, this is what you are. That's why your filth won't be in my Eden. You're not going to pollute it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do wish that the film had leaned a little more into that kind of classism shit, but I think it's there enough for it to be chewed on plenty.
Mm-hmm. I also really liked the idea that the Black Foxes weren't like bad guys. Like they were the ones who were like, we just don't understand, if you can terraform Mars, why can't you do the same to Earth?
Yeah.
I like that motivation.
Yeah. There was what was it, the Blomkamp movie Elysium?
Yes.
Like it has some similar like class warfare vibes, and I really liked this premise a lot. I think it's a really very Wall-E-esque cool idea of like, yeah, why aren't you fixing the planet that's right below us, and instead just going to fix other things outside of the planet? Like focus on your people. I think that is.
And then of course the main bad guy, Sullivan, is all like, oh, but there's like so much death and genocide and people are bad, and then it's like, no, only select few. It's like, yeah, you're doing the same thing that your village, that happened to your village.
Nature is the only thing that's real.
I will say that the only other thing about Sullivan that didn't work for me is like that ending moment when he's looking face forward at the bomb and he's going, why? I did everything right. And I'm like, that's a dumb thought. Come on, bro. You know you didn't. Like, who you kidding?
It's like, oh wow, it's self-seated or self-centered to the end. Okay.
Yeah. The movie setting, the 2029 year,
92.
92. Yeah.
It does seem very close. It does seem very close for how advanced they are. But like,
yeah.
I mean, but it's no different than you watch a movie in the 1980s that says this is
Blade Runner,
2010.
Blade Runner. Yeah. No,
or you watch the Transformers, the animated Transformers movie that says in the year 2005. I'm like,
wow. Jetson set in 2004. Yeah, no, I get it. But it's like 2092. Like we know how slow our advancements go now. So we're not doing, I don't think we're getting part of that. But him being 104 years old puts his birth at the start of World War II, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that is a cool idea. I wish they did more with that idea. And I think it's. I didn't know it was Richard Armitage. That gives them +1 bonus. That's a good makeup job. I like that guy.
Yeah.
I wish. I also echo what Ryan said. I just wish we had like one more scene of them being space sweepers.
That's so fun.
I just wanted that, and I felt like we only got like one good scene of them doing the space sweeping. Granted, the action sequence at the end that uses the tools is good, but like
harpoon guns are cool, guys, man.
Oh, Bub's jumping around on all the ships is dope as hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Her shooting it from the outside of the ship, that's awesome.
Again, like her recharge AI gun with the ring.
Yeah. This is one of those cases where I do have problems with the plot and stuff, but like just overall, like the conception of it is so big and bold, and it's like these people really tried to do something wild, and it's like there's a bunch of scrapyard people in the future dealing with like this droid kid. Like it's a cool idea.
I am a sucker for a badass captain lady with a big gun. Let me tell you. So that moment was awesome. I'm also a sucker for like pushing buttons in an action sequence, or like pushing levers in an action sequence. You see it a lot in car chase sequences when they're about to drift. You see like push on the brakes, it's like that thing. And so you see them like pushing down levers and pushing things. I'm like, hell yeah, give me those. Yeah.
And it's very, and like the action, like there's so much happening, but it's easy to see. Like it's really shot really well. It's dynamically shot. Like it's very kinetic and fun. Like this is like, I'm very excited for like the next movie this person makes, because this is big and bombastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like the world.
This is based off a webtoon, right? It said at the beginning, like it said webtoons, I think.
Did it? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't see
I think
that.
so. Yeah.
I saw it when it said Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Space Sweepers.
Right
Don't say anything about it being based off.
Weird. Oh, it might have been a trailer for one of the trailers we watched earlier today. It said it was a webtoon, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is an original.
The upcoming webtoon series is the first of the two companies' collaborative projects. Wait. Oh, I think this movie might be broken up into some other thing in a different country.
Huh. Oh, weird. All right.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a blast. I'm gonna rate this one high.
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
There's just things that, man, I really wish that middle hadn't dragged.
Seriously, like, man,
all.
like cut like 20-30 minutes out of there, and like this movie would
like
be...
none of the rest really bothers me as much. It's just like that middle just felt too long.
Yeah, the middle was long because I thought, okay, we're gonna be wrapping this up soon, right? And then I was like, oh no, you still got another hour left to go. I mean, besides that, it's weird because I can't. The pilot, is it Taino or
Taiho?
Yeah, Taiho. I think.
Yeah, because I don't get. I like him, but I love Captain Jang, Mr. Park, and Bubs so much more.
Bubs is cool, yeah.
I mean, because I know we get most of Taijo's story, mostly like.
I really like the scene because you brought up Bubs. I really like the scene with him and Dorothy. I forgot the Korean name.
Dorothy. Yeah.
The two of them, that moment when she's putting on makeup and the little girl recognizes Bubs as a she. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that is
and Bubs recognizes that she's human.
Yeah,
that was really cool. Also, although one thing that kind of threw me off is like when you see Bubs in her skin graft, but she still has like the manly voice. But also you see Porky. I'm like, where were you in the whole movie? Because I never saw. I don't know. That wasn't the waiter in the very beginning, was it? No, that wasn't the waiter.
What? Wait, what?
I don't know, because you know when it's at the end of the movie, you see this dude tied up, and
the big guy
comes like, "Hey, Porky," and it's like, what's this guy's connection to Bubs again?
The dude has a connection to Captain Jong. You're correct that I also don't know what that connection was meant to be. If we saw him in the beginning of the movie or not,
I don't think we did.
I don't think so either.
It could just be a literally a character we don't know, and it's just like, hey, Bub, like, look what I look like now, or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it when Bubs got her skin grafts, and I thought that was cool. And
wasn't that like part of Bub's story about like he had everything taken from him? That's how he ended up with the crew. So like he'd lost all that. That was the person who stole the money because he gets all up with the harpoon when he's now in the skin graft, and he says, "Remember me? You took all my stuff."
Oh yeah,
you're right.
I honestly didn't think about it. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say everyone got a happy ending because I also love how Taijo like puts on his Nikes and because he had problems with shoes the whole movie.
I'll be honest, when the indestructible nanites saved the ship, I was in tears. I don't know. I had a really good time with this movie.
I'm glad.
All right, I feel like we're winding down. Should we rate?
Sure.
All right, Ryan, since you spoke up, you rated first.
No. Okay. I would give it a 7.5. I think the beginning and the end are real great, and I think there's some stuff in the middle that just like cut it out, just chop it out.
Sparks.
I want to give the dub a 7.5 and the film an 8. I think I have a sneaking suspicion if I watched it in the Korean, I'd feel more positively in general about it. I still think I'd have certain issues with pacing and all that, but I think the energy would have carried me through a little better.
Yeah.
So I want to give the film an 8 because I think it's really cool, and I think that it did have a lot of good stuff, even with its little not so great moments and flaws. But overall, I think it's a good time.
Ben,
I'm giving it an 8.5. I guess I was lucky enough that when I hit play, the dub it was the actual Korean movie. It wasn't the dub. So I count myself lucky for that, and I had a blast with this movie. I do agree the middle was pretty long, shaved some time off this movie, but other than that, it is a solid jaunt. I would probably see it again. I'm probably gonna have a watch it with me.
Solid jaunt. Ben, what was the number?
8.5.
8.5. 9.
Hell yeah!
I had a blast. I was crying by the end. I was cheering. I had a really good time with this movie. I don't know why, but there I am.
That's great. Hell yeah!
They're all right. Family at the end. It makes me happy.
All right, shall we get into our book club?
Yeah, we will.
Shall we shrink down into our book club? I should have said that.
Gonna do something for the opening of the podcast. but like have a little version of me, but I didn't have enough time because I'm real lazy. Hey guys, we're gonna do the club now.
Go ahead.
Welcome. I chose the relaunch of the Ant-Man book. The Ant-Man hadn't had a book in a while, and then the movie was coming out the next year. So Nick Spencer came out with a new Ant-Man book. It's a 5-issue miniseries that unfortunately got relaunched immediately after because Secret Wars was happening. But it did get another series with the Astonishing Ant-Man, so it did continue after the world was destroyed.
With Nick Spencer, right?
With Nick Spencer, same team. Yeah. So yeah, this is just like I wanted to read some more Scott Lang. We had some Jimmy Woo action in WandaVision. Jimmy Woo was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I was like, I want to read some more Ant-Man.
You don't always get solid character runs when they're putting out comics to tie into movie release.
Yes,
which is what this was.
Yes,
and this is really good.
Yeah, I specifically, I remember when this came out because I wanted to give it a chance because I've never read an Ant-Man before, and I talk about a lot how the comics really Robert Downey Jr.-ified Iron Man, and I found that to be not always a problem, but sometimes a problem. Like he doesn't always need to be super snarky as he is. The Paul Ruddification of Scott Lang is the best thing to happen to the character, I think, because he went from just being like a lame criminal man to actually being a really funny dad who I'm really compelled by his journey with his daughter because he's just a dad trying to do the best. I think the Rogues Gallery he has is really fun. You guys know I love Taskmaster. You get introduced to Bear Man, who I thought the Russian guy in Ant-Man was going to be the Bear Man, but it's not because that'd be too ridiculous. Ant-Man 3 though. I just think it's a it's not a award-winning run, but it's a fun little Ant-Man book.
So Ryan, if I may ask a couple of questions real quickly about the state of Marvel at the time that this run came out.
Hell yeah, do it.
I was not reading Marvel, but Secret Wars was coming. It was around the corner.
Yeah,
and we also read the annual The Last Days for this book club as well. So, the Thing like Fantastic Four member with the girl head and the Thing body,
Miss Thing, yeah.
That's not Cassie?
No, that is a completely new original character.
I didn't know that. Okay, and then
she's a full-grown woman.
Then the second question is, Cassie was Stature in this continuity still, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Interesting.
In this continuity.
No, she was. This Young Avengers was a few years. That was the whole lead into his return.
Oh, okay,
we saw Cassie like at her dad's statue, and then he reappeared.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He did that whole thing.
Okay, so I guess maybe she's just taking some time off. I guess then.
It was interesting because the mom was like, "I don't want near you because you shrink things," but she was also a shrinky person.
Well, I think the whole thing was that I think that there is some kind of story involving Cassie that takes place right after. Is it in Children's Crusade where she's with her? She's at her dad's statue, right?
Yeah,
and he comes back, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're back, Dad." Okay, so there's some kind of story there that I think happens where Cassie, her life gets so nearly threatened that Peggy's like, "No more superheroing," and Scott Lang now stepping in as Ant-Man again is like, "Seriously, no more superheroing."
I think so,
and she decides to listen to them because the Young Avengers essentially disband for a while at that moment.
Yes,
that's the reason why.
It has been. Yeah, this came out in 2015, so it's been some time since that era. This was the era back when Captain America was like Sam Wilson, and we had Lady Thor.
Because they talk about that in the annual. They talk about like Captain America's white here, and Thor's a man.
Like, I like things when they used to be normal. I'm oh, you're a comic book fan, all right, you jerk. Okay. What do you guys think about this one?
I really enjoyed this.
Cool.
I had a really good time.
No, this was the first time I actually read any Ant-Man comic, and while I was reading this, I kind of really feel for Scott Lang because he's just. Because reading in the trade, he was just trying to make ends meet as a dad. I really felt that connection to like Paul Rudd, where in the very beginning of the first movie, he's like, I just want to be things better for my daughter. But then here he is, he's already a superhero, but he's still down on his luck. Yeah.
The difference is between the comic version and the movie version is the movie Scott Lang, he's a Robin Hood type criminal, whereas Scott Lang in the comics, he is an actual criminal. He was a bad guy.
Yeah, I really like that when he was in the interview in the first issue, and he's talking, he's like, "Oh, I'm just really good at stealing stuff."
I have a question. I have another question about the state of Marvel. Pym particles do not work the same way in the comics as they do in the movies, right?
Yeah,
because he talks about how he can shrink other parts of his body. And you can't do that in the movies. It's you go shrink or you go big.
I think it's also just because the movies, the Pym particle stuff is kind of so new to the universe. They might explore that stuff like in Quantumania maybe, but I think They do a lot more stuff in the comics because it's just been around a lot longer. They kind of like Kryptonite. You just do what the hell you want with it.
And then Cassie has Pym particles in her heart.
Yes, because
like in their bloodstream.
Yeah.
Because from the stuff from like the Ant-Man comics from like the 80s, like Marvel Mysteries or something. Cassie gets like abducted by Darren Cross, and he's gonna use her heart or whatever. And because she was hanging out with Ant-Man, almost like Dr. Manhattan gives people cancer, like she has like Pym particles in her body or something. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Also, one of my favorite parts about this is that Scott Lang is never in civilian clothing. He is always in his Ant-Man costume.
It's expensive. He's got to wear it. He's got to use it, right? I love that.
I think that suit is cool too. I like that.
Yeah. I love there's a little lab in there that he never knew, and he's always trying to convince people that like he's a scientist. Like Hank, I'm also a scientist, and you're like really kind of dumb actually. I just think I think Nick Spencer is a really good comedy writer. There aren't writing a you can be funny in comics, but writing a comedy book I think is really hard because it's like reading something as opposed to saying something out loud. Like they read differently, right? So every person interprets a joke differently on the page. But I think Nick Spencer, he's able to really bring comedy alive on the page. Like I think the stuff with Taskmaster, I think that stuff's great. The stuff with
for sure.
What's the living computer, that jerk off guy?
The Machinist.
The Machinist, yeah, that guy. I think his stuff's really weird and fun. Like I love Bearman. I think all the comedy is really good.
So I know today was the Super Bowl, and obviously I had a lot of football in the mind. So when I was reading the annual, and we got to it's the very beginning of the book, and it's like, I've asked nicely, I asked half an hour ago kindly, but can we please put on the Bears? And he's wearing an actual Chicago Bears shirt, and the barkeep is like, this is a Dolphins bar. If the Dolphins are playing, we're watching the Dolphins. I'm like, oh,
he's really committed to
you for doing that, Nick Spencer.
What I really love is the Machinist being like the Scott Lang and the Machinist talking about it, and Scott's like, does he even like he's not even from Chicago? Does he even really care? And he's like, he's just committed to his shtick. Yeah. I admire that.
That's a motif, yeah.
And then when the Machinist takes over the TV, he's like, I'm doing this. Also, go Bears.
Awesome.
And Bearman's like, yeah.
No, it's funny. It's like, awesome.
Yeah. So Nick Spencer, I consider doing this book or another book that Nick Spencer wrote, The Superior Foes of Spider-Man, which I think is a better book than this book, but that is just all of the C-list Spider-Man villains, who includes the Beetle, which he brought over from that book into this book. The Beetle's not in it a lot, but I think the Beetle's a really fun new like anti-villain character that kind of becomes a hero. But I really like that Last Days story, where it's the last day that Ant-Man's alive, and it's not some big superhero adventure. It's him going to hang out with this elderly superhero. That is so much fun, going to an elderly retirement home for superheroes and supervillains, and then she gives them all one last chance to relive their glory days before the world ends. That is so sweet and beautiful, and all of those characters are real characters from Marvel's past. Those are all characters from the 40s and 50s. I looked them all up. Leopard Girl and like Crimson Man and like Miss Miracle is like, those are all real characters. Nick Spencer loves like deep cut shit, and I love it.
And she turns out to be the clairvoyant.
Yes,
and she's like, yeah, no, that's me.
My powers got worse.
Happening.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is Secret Wars. Secret Wars falls on a trope that I love, which was that we've got to see all these characters die.
Yeah.
And I think that's really bold and really cool. And so all the Last Days one shots, I remember when that was happening, and like the moment of hopelessness that was deliberately around the Marvel comics.
Oh yeah, all the comics had like 1 month until Secret Wars. Like, guys, the universe is ending, and everyone's dealing with it. Every single comic is dealing with it in some way. It's an unprecedented event, not just because that's a great event, but like that can only happen with time again. Like this is only something that can happen once in a generation.
But it also interrupted a lot of runs, which I always find funny.
Again, this comic only got 5 issues before it got relaunched.
Spider-Gwen was the same thing. The Ultimate Universe was halted mid-story to be destroyed forever.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time at Marvel.
Yeah. And again, like I still like all that stuff.
It's kind of almost better in a way because it makes it feel like it's more real.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have not every run went and tied up a nice bow on the things they were doing and then went, and now time for the event with everyone. It's like, oh shit, I'm not going to see Cassie.
Yeah.
I was just like juggling things.
No, I love
what I did at the end of that last issue.
It is so good.
Oops.
It's so good that his final moments are like still wearing his helmet after having a drunken sex with the Beetle, who's a supervillain, and she's like you're not the worst I've ever had, and I know I'm the best you've ever had. And he's like, maybe if the world ended right now, it wouldn't be so. And then the world ends, and I'm like, that's so funny. That's so good. He's like, maybe things are kind of looking all right. Nah, Scott, you died. Again.
Nick Spencer's great. I've been really enjoying his Spider-Man run. So this was really nice to go back and read something like this. I really enjoyed. I love him doing the whole Tony Stark thing. That was great.
Yeah. I think this is a good Tony Stark. Like it's
I think one of my favorite parts is when he makes the billboard and he's like, endorse Spider-Man. And he's like, I'm sure Tony will be cool with it. It just cuts to him and he's like, sue.
Yeah. This is Tony during the Superior Iron Man days when he's technically a bad guy in a way, which is funny. Axis. Yes, that event. Yeah.
I liked Remender's Uncanny Avengers that led into it.
I did too. I think that book's pretty cool. Yeah, I just think like this is such a good character piece, and like the villain is just Darren Cross, like and his son Augustine, who's just such a daddy's boy, and Darren does not give a shit about his son at all.
Right,
daddy.
Yeah, I think that stuff's really fun. I think the stuff like when Cassie gets like abducted, I think that's like a pretty like compelling stuff. And like he just does not want to mess things up with his daughter and his ex-wife, and like he is. And like I just think that stuff's it's the small scale stuff that again, something like Ant-Man's like it's really nice that these can also exist next to the giant Avengers books. And it's just as interesting.
I thought they did a great job with Taskmaster. Taskmaster's whole banter with him is great.
My arch enemy. Come on, bro. Like I don't even like you. Like I wasn't even here to fight you. Come on.
Yeah.
I wasn't there to fight you. I was there to fight Hawkeye and Spider-Man and Iron Man.
You're a distraction.
Yeah,
don't tell people you're my arch enemy. I have a reputation.
I love when Bearman first comes in and he's just got him pinned to the wall and he's like, I'm gonna get revenge on you. He's like, yo man, I'm dead. Google it.
Yeah,
I was dead at that time.
Wrong Ant-Man.
And he's like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I also love how he hires him later and he's talking. He's like, did that Ant-Man who banished you look smart? No, it's probably O'Grady. That guy.
Eric O'Grady, who was an Ant-Man, also is now Black Ant, who is like basically best friends with Taskmaster, which you see in Secret Empire.
But that's one of my favorite things is that he's got the like, when you get a second chance, you should pass it on, and so that's what he's doing. He's passing it on. I think that's a really great setup for Scott. I also love when Machinist takes over Crossfire.
I was just on that page too.
Yeah, Crossfire's computers, and he's telling him there's a man in a bear suit about to bust through your wall. Who turned off the air conditioning? And then he's like, I used to be somebody.
You third-rate bullseye. Yeah. I have a soft spot for obscure characters. So anytime someone like Crossfire shows up, and I'm like, I've read like one comic of this guy. Thank you for just like being a dumb dude who shows up. I love it.
And I think they do a great job with the emotional story of him like thinking back on the times he's missed with Cassie and stuff like that while he's destroying the white cells in her body.
Yeah.
And then having to make the choice like maybe it is best for me to not be around.
And for somebody who is just like a regular dude in like an Ant-Man suit, like he has like a really sordid history with like the Avengers and dying and stuff like that. And I think it does a good job of telling you his past history, like, and finally like, oh, this happened in Avengers, blah blah blah. Like it gives you just enough information so you're not confused. Eggman is a dumbass villain, and he did make some AI Avengers. There's
there's a lot of parallels between this book and Ant-Man and the Wasp, the movie, the security store that he sets up.
Yeah.
And then Eggman is an Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, for a brief second. Yeah. That AI Avengers scene. Where Scott's like, don't you think it's kind of creepy that you made all these people? And then Janet, and then what does somebody say?
So it's that he's saying
there it is.
Yeah. So Hank's like, I was dealing with a lot of insecurity issues, especially in social situations with the other Avengers. So I thought he's like, practice on them like a blow up doll. And he's like, when you say like that, it sounds creepy. And then you have Carol like, that Hank Pym sure is a dreamboat. And then he's like, okay, it is creepy.
Yeah, that's a good comedy. Then the Ant-Man is such a fun character. And
when Giant Man walks in, when Hank Pym's Giant Man walks in, he's like, I need that helmet back.
And he's like, dude, man.
Oh, and we are introduced to the most recent new Ant-Man who only has shown up in a various couple things. His name is Raz, I believe.
Yeah.
But he's like a tech genius, and he's shown up in the War of the Realms Giant Man series that they had. So he's shown up in various things, but I hope he shows up again because like I love new characters getting Ant-Man suits. I think it's fun.
I also love the conversation Hank Pym had.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying Hank Pym is merged with Ultron right now.
Yeah.
I love the conversation that Hank Pym has with him where he explains why he chose Scott, and he's like, you're always kind of nervous and you don't want the next person who comes in to do the job better than you, so I thought you were perfect. And he's like, wow, you're an ass.
Yeah. Hank Pym is an ass. Yeah. I think this is it's relatively like a fun book, not super high stakes. I do love all the stuff with him and Cassie just trying to be a good dad. Like when he buys like the little apartment that's actually and he shrinks down and watches the movie Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Which they do in Ant-Man the movie. I think it's really charming, and I think if you like this, this book continues with Astonishing Ant-Man. Before that book got canceled. Right. But then now there's Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's a book by Mark Waid, and then there's Ant-Man and Stinger, which is his daughter, which now Cassie is Stinger.
And Ant-Man just had that 5-issue run that got canceled in 2020 because of the pandemic.
Yep. So
but that 5-issue run is there.
All the Ant-Man I've ever read has been good. Ant-Man's a great character.
Hope, who's the new Wasp?
Van Dyne.
No, it's not Hope Van Dyne.
Nadia Van Dyne.
Nadia Van Dyne,
yeah, she's the new Wasp. She's cool. She's very charming.
Oh, I really do like in the annual too when she comes in and she gives him the lab.
Oh, Jan, yeah. Ant-Man's there are more good Ant-Man books than bad Ant-Man books, thankfully, because he hasn't had too many miniseries, which is good. He's good. Good stuff.
All right, so next week it's my turn. I can't think of anything else right now, so I picked Avengers Prelude: Black Widow Strikes.
Hell yeah. Fred Van Lente.
It is, by Fred Van Lente, and art dude is...
Got the art man by the art man.
Oh, okay. There, I can't read that. All right.
By an artist.
The credits page is wild. It looks like a movie.
Oh my god, yeah. I got
yeah, so what this is basically, it is a prelude to the movie Avengers. It is an official Marvel Cinematic Universe tie-in. They had a seal of approval back then. I think this is one of the better. I remember it being pretty good. It's just a story about Black Widow before we see her in Avengers. So kind of hopefully it holds up. We'll see.
All right.
So I haven't read it in years.
I got our team. Oh my god, you're right. There's like 5 different artists. I'm not gonna read it.
Oh wow.
Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5. They all have different artists.
All right. Yeah, it's I think it's a 3-issue thing.
Got it.
Yeah, there's some backup stories in this one that's like old comics. I won't require to read you that, but just the 3 issues.
I'll read them.
Okay. All right, so that'll be it for next week. Next week for movies, we're going to review Love and Monsters for Valentine's Day.
Yay! I'm excited.
Mag, thank you.
Yeah.
Be safe and good night, everybody, says Mag. Good night to you too. Thank you to the people the alarming amount of people who watch this stream tonight.
Thank you. I love you.
All right, so that'll be it. Of course, we have more stuff on this YouTube page. If you're watching this live, if you're watching the video, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. We greatly appreciate the growth. We're stuck doing this for the rest of time, so hey, give us some likes and shit. But if you check out this YouTube channel, there's more stuff. There's more shows. There's a Fake Nerd Book Club series, which has right now Little Char and the Gang. We're doing that one right now. And the audio for that one is also up for you audio listeners. That's Wasted Space Volume 3. Link in the description below. We have the Fake Nerds Watch series, which is doing WandaVision right now, which we have our 4th episode will be up soon this week, right, Sparks?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, our 2 Basement Arcade shows, Basement Arcade and Basement Arcade Pause Menu. The first episode of Pause Menu, where we talk about the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 video game from 2018, is up now, with a new episode coming soon.
Yeah.
Go, Web, go.
Guys, I mentioned that we're in this for the long haul, for all eternity. So make sure to buy your mask, and why not make it a Fake Nerd Podcast mask that you can find in the description below. We still have some masks available. So please help us out by doing that. Help us out in 2 ways. You help us out by saving people and ending this pandemic, and you help us out financially.
It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we also have our Patreon, which you can subscribe to our $5 tier, which has a bunch of cool stuff on it. Our $10 tier, which has exclusive T-shirts until April 1st. April 1st, that T-shirt's changing. It's a different shirt. So you can only get this shirt once. And then our $20 tier, which is our hey, you like us? Give us $20.
Appreciate you.
We also have our TeePublic, which right now, just this week went up on TeePublic, was our new Fake Nerds Watch and Fake Nerd Book Club. No, Basement Arcade shirts, designed by the wonderful Sparks Whitty right there. They are up. You can buy shirts of those now. I believe Ben loudly decreed that he would when he saw the Basement Arcade logo.
Oh, no, I'm still buying the shirt. I'm still gonna buy a Basement Arcade.
I'm not
shirt.
trying to pressure you into a shirt. Buy a shirt.
No, I want one.
Everybody should want one. But we also have some cool shirts up there. I'd rather be a fake nerd than a true fan. Hey, the Snyder Cut's coming out. Show us your fake nerd love. All right. We also have a website where you can find all these links at www.fakenerdpodcast.com. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches. We greatly appreciate your support. We love you guys. You're family to us. Is that too far? Who cares? What I feel in my heart.
Listen. If we're all part of the Fast and Furious family, then we're all family.
We're all at Olive Garden together somewhere.
Oh my God! Remember when they used to make that joke and go to Olive Garden? Those are the days.
Those were the days. Then it became Taco Bell.
Oh yeah,
we really downgraded.
Yeah,
and then the pandemic hit, and we stopped going because we had to.
I miss going to Taco Bell with you guys.
I miss going to Taco Bell. I want to go to Olive Garden with you guys so bad.
I'll settle for Taco Bell. I'm not made out of money.
I'm on the keto diet right now, so I can't get Taco Bell, but I still want to go.
Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci for our themes. You heard some of the themes. If you're watching this or you listen to this, you heard the themes. They're great. We love Jeremy Vellucci. If you're watching the shows on YouTube, there are new themes for every single one of those shows.
Hot dog.
All done by the great Jeremy Vellucci. You can find him on Instagram at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. He also does a podcast called Suburban Proctologist. You can find that on iTunes, wherever podcasts you listen to. You can find that also on Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official or Instagram at Subproc Podcast.
So I will say, because I now know that it's definitely going forward. Jeremy is going back and audio formatting all his old episodes of Suburban Proctologist.
We're getting remasters?
Yes, we are. Because what he wants to do, because he has improved equipment and everything, and he understands better how he's doing his balancing and everything. So if you're like me, where you don't listen with headphones generally when you're listening to podcasts, the audio has always had a little bit of trouble with the music versus the voices. Jeremy has gone back and fixed those issues. He's working on them right now. He's also adding in new scores for most of the episodes. So those whole new versions of those episodes are going to come out. You're going to love them. Something to look forward to.
Subproc, the Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
There you go. And of course, thank you to Mike Patola. Mike is a wonderful, wonderful human being. I love collaborating with people like Jeremy and Mike because they're great and they give us some great art to peddle off on the show as our own.
Hell yeah.
So thank you, Mike, for everything you've done for us, for your Fake Nerds trivia challenges. That's not what it's called. It's the Mike Patola Possible Movie Trivia Challenges. For those things and for logos, maybe some shirts. Who knows? Man, I can't wait for the next Possible Movie Trivia Challenge.
It's going to be gorgeous.
But you can find him at Mike Matola. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Twitter and Instagram. Wait, BT McClure 1? Yeah, BT McClure 1.
There's never been a 1.
Is it BT? No, it is BT. Oh, that's my...
Never said 1 ever.
You changed it.
That's my email.
Oh, no!
BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, no. Now you're going to get a million emails.
So
the Snyder Cult found me.
Oh, no.
Ben.
You can find me always double checking to make sure if there are numbers in my screen name at BenMaga27 on Instagram and Twitter. And also, guys, I still write for oldschoolgamermagazine.com. For some reason, the website's being really wonky and it won't let me upload new stuff, which kind of hurts my heart because I got some new stuff that I really like. I want to share with you guys, but can't because website problems. But eventually, new stuff will be up on the website. What?
Harsh way to find out you've been fired.
I'm not fired.
I'm just giving you shit.
But yeah, there's still a lot of old, great articles on Old School Gamer Magazine, a bunch of my stuff, a bunch of everyone else's. So if you like old school video games, go there, read some of my stuff, please.
All right, Sparks.
You can find me eagerly anticipating the birth of my nephew at Sparks Whitty on Instagram and Twitter, SPARKZ Whitty.
It's coming soon.
they predict this week, so
wow. I'm gonna know another person with a baby.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan.
You can find me having a baby soon at DJ Tony Snark.
That's a wild way to find out you've been in a relationship for so long.
Everything's a secret.
All right. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcasts. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, guys, stay fake nerds.